Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
It is a night of high strangeness here on Spaced Out Radio tonight. We got some weird stuff happening all over the place. I don't know if you have it at your place or not. Let us know if you do. Science Bob and Friends returns here tonight. God, my hair is terrible tonight. Holy cow. Let's just put this chapeau on here. There we go. All right. Dirty Filth is here with another great cartoon. And the best part about it, we have all of you, like Race Fan in the gold medal position. And B with a silver, Tim Mothman and his goatee with a nice bronze medal tonight. Shaq Valet is back. Shaq will be signing autographs after the show. Line up to the left of the studio, if you don't mind, to the left of the studio. Robert Lamoth, Jimmy Gonzalez, Brown Dwarf, Lisa C., Biofuel Brad, how you doing? And good to see you. Dino Bravo, Road Flair, Attorney at Large, Michael Morris, thank you for joining us. Kevin and Aaron Baca, what's happening, my man? And there's Paul Demon. What's happening, dude? All right. Mama Catherine, I love you, dear. Thank you so much for being my adopted mom. I love you. Dave Walters, nice to have you back. Roger Murray, Roger, how you doing, man? Samantha Hazelwood Gray has returned. Samantha will be signing autographs after the show as well. Line up to the right of the studio, if you don't mind. To the right of the studio. Cliffside, Digger Dog, what's happening, guys? Hello, Mary R. and Kurt M. And who else do we got? Gizmo and the lovely Ozzy Ange. Doug Shelby is here. The Doug Shelby has arrived, which means we can officially start this show. Continuing on with our roll call. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, Monica. And where are we here? Underscore Maddie, the guy whose picture looks like Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters. How you doing, buddy? Doc from Wyoming, Marty Burback. Number 23 in your program, starting at right wing, Lars Janssen from Stockholm, Sweden. Noble Patrick, how you doing, buddy? You working tonight? And who else do we have here? Mark Sanchez and his collection of Hawaiian shirts. How you doing, buddy? Buckethead, the Soothsayer, how you doing? And Stargazer, JMJ12, Deerslayer, Christine Lynn, thank you all for coming on in. Pam Harris, looking lovely tonight. Thomas Rock, Millennium, my man. Good to see you. And let's see, who else do we have here? T-Bone, what's happening? And Jeff Steve Garvey, he'll hit a home run for you. 5DRG, Terrible Times, and Destiny Rocks. How are you? Destiny with that lovely smile. Lovely smile. Neil Attenbury, how you doing, bud? Can't wait to see you in Reno for our fan party. Alien Critter, how you doing? And let's see, who else we have? D. Cypher. And Forrest Louie kicking off the super chat tonight. Thank you, Louie. Always appreciate your love of SOR, my man. Every night you're here for us. Thank you, my man. Appreciate you. All right, continuing on, there's Science Bob, which means somewhere around here lurking is la 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 bright. And I love saying that. Oh, it makes me laugh. Christine Lynn, Chill Farm, how you doing? Asteroid, Paisley Parker, and Ted Ozzie. Welcome to SOR chat. Good morning to, or good afternoon to you. And where are we here? Simon, how are you, bud? Les Paul Holland, the Aussies are in. SG Nav Spotter, Body Tech, good morning to you. Good to see you back. Hello there, Ant-Man. And welcome to the radio side of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. You're listening to Science Bob and Friends on the mighty SOR, as we're going to get into it very quickly tonight as we are continuing with our roll call. Paramarv, good to see you. And who else do we have here? We have Bill WD40 lubing us up for tonight's show in the Spreaker chat. Yeah, you never want to go into a show rough around the edges. He makes it nice and smooth for us. All right, and who else do we have here? We have John P. Adventures, Nick Adkins, good to see you. And let's see, who else is joining us? Susan Alloway, the lovely Amy W.C., and I think we're caught up. Jeremy Jones, good to see you. Over on the Facebook side of things. Facebook changed things. I will find it here. Just bear with me. And yeah, let's have some fun tonight. Remember, folks, Super Chat is open. We do not have ugly swag. And get your horns up. From the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on Odyssey Radio, TalkStream Live, and KPNL. All of our archives are free. Join us at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. You can follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon for the Space Travelers Club. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. A power show of info tonight. We are getting deep into the UFO story on Science Bob and Friends with Dr. Bob McGwier here. And we know we love it when Science Bob is hanging on out with us. And thank you, Bob, for being here. And then in hour number 3, Steve Stockton from Among the Missing has a couple of spooky stories for us, followed up by Sweet Robbie G filling in for Courtney Marcassani, who's traveling back home to Alaska. So she will be absent tonight, but back for Friday. All right, it is that time of the week, that time of the month, that time of the year where we say hello to our favorite scientist in the UFO world, Dr. Bob McGwier, otherwise known around these parts as Science Bob. Now, Bob's been doing this show for a couple of years now, where he breaks down the who, what, where, when, why of why things are in high strangeness. It happens. He's an experiencer. He's a former member of the CIA, NRO, Virginia Tech University. This man has been there, done it all. He's got his name on over 20 satellites up in space as we speak, and we love him around here because he's ours, all ours. Science Bob, it is always a pleasure to have you on Spaced Out Radio. Welcome back for your final show of 2023.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. It is the final of 2023. Well, Dave, it's good to be here. We haven't had any events happen in the last month, have we?
Maybe. Maybe. You know, I'm going to get into this story a little bit more on Friday because I don't want to give it away. At 2:00 this past morning, okay, my son woke up. And I didn't hear him because when I'm out, I'm out. My partner went and found him because she could hear some rustling in the kitchen. And here he was sitting there, dead asleep with his eyes wide open, watching his iPad. And a bunch of other weird things happened. She said it was one of the strangest things she's ever seen him do, and we've caught him sleepwalking before. But here's the interesting part about it. She moved the iPad to go get him back into bed. Then she went off to the bathroom, I believe, I'll have to confirm this story again with her. And the next thing she knows, the iPad is sitting on his dresser, and she has no idea how it got there. Now, let's go 3,500 and plus miles away to Pennsylvania, where Courtney Marcassani, I got off the phone with her just an hour before the show, our UFO reporter. She was up almost all night because at about 5 o'clock in the morning, her time, 2 o'clock my time, when my son is going through this, she is having alien lights surrounding her house and the forest all around her. So much so that logs for her from her fire pit, okay, were even moved. Now, Courtney's going to tell this story on Friday. I'm giving you just the Coles Notes version right now. But there is some weird things happening when you can put stories like that together about 3,500 miles apart, Bob.
Well, so Lala and I were watching a movie. Naturally, it was horror. I forgot the name, but it was some horror movie. It was just pretty scary. Anyway, she says the camera keeps going off. So we started looking at the camera, and we're seeing structured craft behind our house in the sky, many of them. Entities walking on the neighbor's roof where they used to do and look at us while they're standing up there, and got that stuff on video. And there's trees around the neighbor's house, but the light on the top of the neighbor's house, which lets us know something's going on, is coming straight down on the roof, but not illuminating the trees. So it can't be coming from the road. It has to be coming from straight above. So then you look at some of these videos and you see things standing in this light on top of their roof. Okay, so then Lala and I are both having all these weird dreams, and I sent you a picture just now of a lucid dream I had, where I had a conversation with a gigantic monster, megalodon-sized pink jellyfish. Just really wild stuff going on, Dave. And then that's just personal, like Courtney. And we were at the Inquiry into Anomalous Phenomenon this past Saturday. She was there for just the first talk because she wanted to hear Joshua Cutchin. And I stayed for the whole day, and it was amazing. And then we have all of this UFO news. There's no way for us to cover it all. It's been a busy month.
Bob, let's get to this side that we all want to hear from. You have worked on the dark side of the government. You have worked with special interest groups from the CIA to the NRO and every alphabet agency in
NSA,
between.
yeah.
Okay. What are we seeing going on here? Is this an alphabet project that's trying to be protected, or are we seeing right now a shift in the military industrial complex? What's going on?
We are seeing a lot of the old guard that believe things ought to be done a certain way dying off and losing control. And the younger people that are working on these projects don't want to live with the crap people used to live with. And they realize that no real progress is being made on understanding some major assets they have. And they realize they need to open it up to more scientists. And I'm with David Grush. Basic research and fundamental science is absolutely wrong to cover up and make it classified. So, there's a bunch of rabble-rousing going on. We can't make progress because we don't have the right people looking. People do not understand how constraining and restrictive this dadgum secrecy is. And you've got a different president, a different Congress, different people in the Pentagon, different people in the intelligence community, different people doing the crash retrievals at the CIA overseas, and different ones in the interior of the United States doing crash retrievals here. Competing groups doing crash retrievals inside the United States. And it's just too much. And it costs way too much. People don't have a clue, Dave, how expensive this secrecy is. You can't, they don't have any, they have small groups, 8 or 9 people working on one project. And each one of these groups has multiple layers of administration and security. Dave, that's very expensive.
I was talking to someone yesterday, one of my sources, who says, people in the American public need to understand that a lot of these projects that are going on that are ours are so tapered down that there may be 300 to 500 people who actually know in the entire United States.
There may be more that know, but there's only 300 or 400 that are working on it right now.
Specifically.
Yeah.
Specifically. Okay. So for instance, down in 29 Palms, they may be creating a little nut or bolt that is made for something they don't know. All they're knowing is that they're creating nuts and bolts. And then over in Kentucky, they may be making tire wheels. Okay. And then and it's for the same aircraft, but they don't know what aircraft it is. For all they know, it could be a KC-135, an A-10, an F-15, an F-35. They don't know if it's part of some black project. It's not their job. Their job is to make sure that that there's rubber on those tires, and that those nuts that are made at 29 Palms are fit for those tires. That's how compartmentalized this is. They don't know. They don't know what is going on, Bob. And that's how the secrets start.
That, and let's suppose you're said, we want you to work on a problem. And and it's really good, but it's highly classified. And that kind of draws a lot of people in. So they get told, you got to show up here. And you get to the first person you're supposed to meet, and they give you a piece of paper you're supposed to sign your life away without actually knowing what's going on. And everybody that shows up says, well, what can you tell me? And that person says, I don't know what they're doing in there. I'm just here to have you sign this piece of paper. And multiple layers of that will happen before you get inside. They get cut out after cut out after cut out. That is really expensive, Dave. And only after they go through this gauntlet do they finally get inside and realize they've given away their life and they can't escape.
Very true. Very true. Well, let's hit the nail on the head here, Bob, because we've seen the official tearing down of the Schumer-Rounds amendment, which would have provided more alleged transparency and more to UFO disclosure. We all knew it wasn't going to go. We had hope. But in the end, it's the old cronies, we call them the Republican Five around here, that really messed things up. From Mitch McConnell on down, Mike Turner of Ohio was a big one who really helped this. And you know what? I want to get your opinion on this, Bob, but then I have a positive out of this that I want to take. One of those aha moments. So let's get your opinion on this first.
Look, the really juicy pieces that were just absolutely going to force all of the secrets back from these hidden contractors and out of the control of the hidden hands back into the United States government official hands, and where Congress had oversight over the expenditure of taxpayer dollars and wherever else they're getting the money from. Okay, so, and there would be no more federal government employees hiring contractors to go out and beat people up to keep the secrets, or go overseas and beat people up to get the craft and parts. It's just awful stuff going on, and we just need to get past all that. So, and it's just, people don't want to do that anymore. They don't want to put up with it anymore. They want to make progress. And every experiencer I know, hey, Matt, how you doing? Every experiencer I know is seeing all sorts of stuff in their skies or in their area. I mean, we are seeing structured craft and entities here every night of the friggin' week.
I get that, and I can appreciate that. The Schumer amendment being shot down, here's my theory of it, Bob. Okay, I know I'm in the minority, but I think this is the start to something bigger. And
No, no, no. Let me explain. David Grush was completely unexpected. The people who are deciding to do disclosure were here before David Grush was involved. Okay, and so he got involved. He learned all about the secrets. He's a Eagle Scout, good guy, and he couldn't stand it. He wanted to bring it out, and he talked to a bunch of people that work in these programs, and he wanted to help them out, so he came forward. That stirred up all sorts of other people inside of Congress who realized, you know what? We really are being denied oversight by people that work for the United States government, and we are the elected representatives of the people. And so they got shut out and got upset about it. And so there was this rush to do stuff, and they got stopped in the end by the people who are owned by the people who are working on this program and are worried about all that will happen after these secrets come out.
I get you, and I understand that, but I think it goes further. And it started in 2015.
There is a plan. There's a plan to do something else big.
It started in 2015 when Hillary Clinton came out with this UAP crap. Okay, so that way they could hide UFO news and technology within the UAP acronym. Now what we're seeing is we are seeing these big boys from the Republicans, the guys who we've been there, done that, and seen it all, and we made millions of dollars off of it. Okay, they are protecting the act, and I've got this confirmed from two different sources now. Okay, and that is, it's official. We as a community need to stop using this UAP term because the entire movement has been about protecting UAPs as man-made objects and man-made technology that the defense companies do not want to come out. This has nothing to do with aliens or UFOs. Okay, this has everything to do with the technology to protect what America has at places like Area 51 or 29 Palms or Dugway or Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, which coincidentally has to be the area that the electoral area for Mike Turner. It all comes together. It has nothing to do with UFOs. Nothing.
I don't think it has nothing to do with it, but it is conflated with other things they definitely do not want to let go of to the public. But look, but you just have look. Kathleen Hicks, Deputy Director of DOD, Hicks, can say with a stroke of a pen, you can't reveal this to anybody in Congress. And that SAP, that Special Access Program, is barred from being given oversight. I mean, she signs one piece of paper and that happens. And same thing goes on in the U.S. intelligence community. And Congress ought to get upset about it and end it.
I understand that. But the problem is we have a lot of people out there thinking this had to do with UFOs.
But it does have to do with UFOs. It has to do with something else. I just completely, utterly disagree. It's both.
It is both in the act, but as for protection of what is being covered up for the sake of national security and threat narratives, that is not UFO. That is UAP.
So we do know that UAP covered unknown drones. So and that's both ours and them and theirs. And so that we don't want the adversaries knowing that we have ability to detect things, and if we do, how we do it. We don't want them to know that.
Bob, you can't sit there and and I'm not saying this as a shot to you or anything, but nobody out there can sit there and say with a straight face, okay, that UAP has anything to do with alien technology. We don't
But
know that. They put it in as a cover up so that way they could use it as an excuse for American technology that's 50 to 100 years ahead.
well, they definitely want to use use UFOs to cover up for American technology, and they've been doing that for decades. Like the F-117 and the B-2 bomber and
Yes.
the SR-71 and
All the
all
way
sorts of strange helicopters. They want all of those to be covered up by UFOs.
exactly, which is UAP because it's man made. I hate to go into the semantics of this so heavily, okay? But the government has done a great job over the last 8 years in taking the idea of UFOs and alien abductions and grays and putting them into a context of adversarial aircraft. That's what I'm saying. We have zero proof on the record so far that anything UFO is dangerous.
Okay, so I guarantee you, go on Twitter, look at stuff Eric Davis is saying, look at other stuff people that we know or care about. They are saying they're hostile.
Who pays them?
Yeah, I
Who gets
understand that, but I believe Eric Davis cares about UFOs in addition to UAP. But and we see these weird hostile things in South America where people are actually being hurt, and that's not American technology being tested, or because the American won't test their technology outside of test ranges. They don't test them on our own troops in our own training areas or overseas. When our stuff goes overseas, it's going into action, not to fool with a bunch of villages on the coast of Brazil.
I understand that, but we also know that the minute there is a hot spot in the world for military incursions, immediately within days, there are UFO reports or UAP reports over that battleground.
Yep.
I don't think that's alien. I really don't.
I have a very and the nonstop stream of reports of UFOs coming out of Ukraine during the Ukraine-Russia war every single day. Not all of those can be aliens. They're mostly people observing stuff.
It's people observing what they figure is UFO, what we would classify as UAP.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, people don't understand. People ought to understand, but they don't understand how much we are helping Ukrainians target their weapons.
Absolutely. And I hate to harp on this, and I know my audience is sick of it. Okay. I hate to harp on the semantics of UFO versus UAP. But in order to change the narrative that we have been fed, a negative lying narrative for the last 7 years, all because of UAP, we have been fed a bunch of hogwash as to what truly is going on. If you want to know about UFOs, we need to be asking specifically about UFOs, not UAP. That's the point I want, and I'm going to push it into our audience. They're going to be sick of me, okay? But we got to keep pushing. And I've talked to other people about this, and I said, "What can I do?" They said,
There's nothing you can do about it because the people who are holding the secrets are going to say UAP no matter what.
and those who want popularity on Twitter are going to UAP it up.
Yeah, but I'm just telling you, if you want to get official disclosure of any type, the language that's going to do it is going to call it UAP. And that includes USOs, UFOs, etc.
Get that. When we come back, David Grush seems to have a few more rockets in his pockets when it comes to firing at those who are shooting down the Schumer Amendment. Spaced Out Radio at Science Bob and Friends continues right after this. Yeah, I apologize to my audience. Being about
You don't
so
have to apologize for having an opinion. We
well,
like to get on here and throw it around. And it's good to see Matt in the YouTube. Matt has been on fire for a month. He's been amazing. Matt
yeah,
Ford is doing a great job. And then of course he and Chris and the other reporter broke that massive story about OGA. I mean, it's just huge. That is a huge story. Can I tell you what I do know? We should bring it up. I'm in a group with Pandolfi.
bring it
Pandolfi.
bring it up after the break.
I am, but I'm telling you, I'm in a group with Pandolfi, and man, oh man.
The question is, okay, knowing that he's from California, does Matt Ford wear a wig? Because his hair is always on tap, always
Man,
on.
he's just got a beautiful head of hair.
Yes,
And
he
Matt,
does.
you need to give me some of that hair, dude. I mean, it gets cold up here in the winter.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Hey Matt, I know it's probably late, but if you want to jump on with us, you're more than welcome. Let me know and I'll send you the link if you want to. We'd love to have. We got time to add you if you want. I don't think Bob would be.
Nah, Matt
Still
can
set.
come on in. We could have a round table if he doesn't have anything to do.
Says he's waiting for his wig to arrive before he appears on Spaced Out. That's freaking awesome. And Matt, I'm gonna start grilling you about the UAP bullshit too.
He's reporting on what's happening in and around Washington, etc., and they're only going to say UAP.
Well, it's time for him to learn.
Of course, the UAP term that was being used in Europe long before we decided to use it.
I understand that, but if you want to win the public over and win the public side of things, you need to UFO it.
I don't care one way or the other, just so we get look. If the Schumer UAP disclosure act had been signed into law in the NDAA, you wouldn't have cared what it was called because you'd have gotten UFOs.
No, UAP stands for cover up.
No,
Bob,
but it covered you. Look, Dave, it can't be about United States military stuff if it has non-human intelligence 24 times in the act.
Exactly. That's a UFO, not a UAP.
Right, but UNHI is 24 times in that act.
I understand that, Bob. You're all hyped up about the fucking act, and I'm sitting here telling you, I understand. I'm trying to educate people how the semantics have changed the attitude of this subject and have allowed people like Turner to pull the wool over people's eyes.
I don't agree with that, but I agree that they're trying to deflect. Look, they really don't want people being that, and the thing I'm trying to remember. We need to discuss because I don't remember if they still had the modification to FOIA make it through in the new law. The Freedom of Information Act, they put a target on it. And I hope it didn't pass into the law, but I bet it did.
Well, I understand with what you're going at.
John, the Black Vault is in Greenwald's in trouble if they made that modification.
We got about 90 seconds, Science Bob. Hi, yep. Blue Cruz. How you doing? And we're gonna go right into Grush here when we get back.
Yeah,
gotta love this guy. Love this guy.
Oh, so do I. Ooh, he is a brave Boy Scout. I hate people doubting him.
Hello, hero. How you doing? Gee Calgary, what's happening, man? How's your flames? I hate fasting, Bob. I lead the bee.
I've got to fast for a couple of days.
Oh, I had a great dinner tonight. And now I'm sitting here thinking, Feeling a little peckish, but I'm not allowed to be peckish anymore. Peckish got me into my problems here. You know what that's like, Bobby? You know what that's like. Hi, Lost Souls. How you doing? Thank you tonight. Louis times 2, Bob, and Gizmo for the super chats. Don't forget to shop at our Spaced Out Radio store. We got new swag up right now. We do not have ugly swag, people. We actually got stuff you're going to want to wear outside besides to a flea market. Here we go. Here we go with the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Very much appreciate you tuning us on in. Reminder to all of you that if you miss portions of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire. Check out our swag as well. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram, Spaced Out Radio Show, and you can join us on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. Science Bob and Friends continues with Dr. Bob McGwier. We're going to take a look at David Grush right now. He is all over the place when it comes to being pretty upset, Bob, that the Schumer Amendment got its butt kicked by a bunch of old Republicans here.
He is very upset. He's out taking names and kicking butt. So he is not happy, and because he put his rear end on the line. He put his livelihood and his family's health and welfare on the line, and didn't get what he wanted out of it. Now, parts of the UAP Disclosure Act made it through, but not the things he really cared about.
Mm-hmm. Well, he was recently on Tucker Carlson.
And really, really wild on Tucker Carlson.
And you know, I mean, Tucker Carlson, love him or hate him, and trust me when I say this, if I ever saw Tucker Carlson at center ice, I would love to drop the gloves against him. I would. He just has that face, you know, but he's doing a great job at continuing to bring the UFO story out to the public. And that's all that matters for what we do here. So he has David Grush on, and they are talking about the fact that it does sound like the U.S. government has made contact, that we are not alone. I mean, that granted, Grush has said that before, but the fact that he continues to say it, is he pushing a narrative, an agenda? What is your thoughts here, Bob?
Well, David Grush has a right to be upset, and he is taking the gloves off and calling a spade a spade. I mean, he went on Tucker Carlson, and a good portion of the conversation he was emphasizing, and they were reacting together to the facts that representatives of or members of the United States government killed American citizens to keep a secret. And Grush is tired of the people that work inside those programs who've signed away every friggin' right they have to work in those programs, living in fear. They're paralyzed in fear because they're a reality about how they take these private contractors and have them do bad stuff to people to keep them. And that's part of what the Inspector General thought was really bad and needed looking into. So Grush is on the warpath, and I think the five GOP members in the House have achieved a Pyrrhic victory, because I think it's going to cost them in the long run.
Good, very well. Well, let's hear a part of this interview here, and we're playing this for our audience here. What does that mean, Bob?
Well, I didn't hear it.
Oh, you didn't hear it. Okay.
No, it didn't go out on the air. I was trying to tell you it wasn't coming over.
Okay. Let me try and figure this out as to why this is not coming across the air here. But basically, it was a point of Grush stating that he was asked a question about government employees being killed for knowing too much.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Tucker went, that's crazy. At that point, if somebody says the United States government killed an American citizen without a trial because he was going to tell the truth about something, that's kind of when everything stops. You can't have that in a free country. And Grush went on, I think people are just paralyzed in fear because that is a reality. And I remember certain professional staff members being very upset in the room, and rightfully so. But we need to do something about that because that's not good. And most of the people that I even interviewed, I'm like, do you want to go to the inspector general with me? And they're like, we'll back you up, but we don't want our name on any complaints because they live in fear. These programs have, because of the agreements people have signed, they've given away their freedom and their rights. And the bad people who want to keep these secrets have taken it to the final sanction that they will whack people if they need to keep a secret. They have. I don't believe that's gone on, but the people inside are afraid it will go on because it has in the past.
It's unbelievable that we're at this point. Absolutely unbelievable.
Go to Joe's The UFO Joe and go. He covers the entire thing in detail.
Well, I'm on Joe Merja's
and click
Twitter
there.
Now.
The thing I was talking about, that's crazy, right there in the middle. And there's him and Grush talking about these people killing people.
Yeah,
there in the middle.
Yeah, so I mean, Joe Merja, known on Twitter as at the UFO Joe, considering he's a real UAP guy, that's still quite shocking to me. But he's got great hair, fantastic hair, like Velcro. And Joe, anyways, is basically transponding and transcribing this entire thing about the interview with Tucker Carlson and David Grush. One of the issues that has come up regarding this interview is the fact that Grush has stated that there was, a lot of malevolence on behalf of the Schumer amendment, people trying to get rid of the Schumer amendment, and that he has more information about to come out in weeks to come, maybe even in between the Christmas break, that could open the eyes and maybe name some names.
So let me explain to people how it works. So David Grush has put in again for an additional things to be allowed out under the DOPSR process. So he has to tell the Pentagon what he wants to talk about. They have said, okay, you can talk about it, but you have to write the entire text you want to say out. He hasn't done that yet. So he has to write the entire text of what he wants to put in the op-ed and get into his scripts for going on air. He has to send that back to the Pentagon and the intelligence community to get the okay to say that stuff out in the open. They've given him the approval, but he still has to have the actual text approved, and he has to stick to it like it's a script. He better practice it and practice it and practice it, because if he crosses the line, they're going to throw him in jail.
How much is he pushing that boundary?
Right. Worse than Lou Elizondo ever thought about pushing it. He went out and said, we have craft, we have bodies, but he is running right up next to it, but he will not go over that boundary. He will not go across saying stuff that it's not his adoption unless he makes a comment about things that other people have said, because then it's out in the open.
Right. 1 second here. I'm going to get to Schumer here in a second here. I'm just going to bring it up, and let's get to Senator Schumer talking about the act that he had put through, kind of getting shot down, which has everybody fired up a little bit here, Bob, regarding the UFO side of everything.
And I'm fired up.
And once again, Twitter is not working for this audio for some silly reason. Oh, man. Wasn't prepared for this, for all of a sudden Twitter to be blocking audio.
Well, just let me give you the synopsis. He and Rounds got in the Senate, the well of the Senate, and they went back and forth. They were probably the only senators left in the room, but they went there for the cameras and went back and forth, and they trashed the Republicans in the House who killed their act. And they just went back and forth about people keeping these secrets, and it's time for this secrecy to end. But that's because they know how horrible the people inside the security apparatus around these programs have acted.
All right, let's try this out, Bob. See if we can get this to work this time. Bear with me here.
No, there's no audio.
There's no audio.
Yeah, none.
So weird. So weird. This is the first time all of a sudden we cannot use audio from Twitter regarding this show. I don't get it. That's frustrating.
Yep.
That's frustrating. I don't know whether that's on Twitter's side or on StreamYard's side of everything.
Well, X may have told StreamYard and YouTube, you cannot use our stuff without permission. So, but you can go on YouTube and find the C-SPAN that had that, and then play that, and it'll play.
Very true. Let's try and find that. So the outcome of the Schumer Rounds amendment, as we got about 12 minutes to go here for our radio audience, lots of time to talk about this. What did it get washed down to?
Okay, it's the big things are no more government money can be spent on any of those topics that were in the Schumer Rounds amendment and act without approval of Congress. So they ended the funding. If it was taxpayer dollars, I'm going to tell you, there's a big theory that they are not and have not spent U.S. taxpayer dollars, that almost all the money comes from illegal acquisition of dollars, like they did for Iran-Contra, and all of the Japanese gold found at the end of World War II that's been hiding in Swiss banks, allowing for intelligence and other operations since World War II.
And why is that important to what we deal with? For people,
because we do not want taxpayer dollars being spent on these programs and our elected representatives not having oversight. But look, what that does, it stops the government from paying for security. They cannot pay for security on any of these programs anymore. So that's number one. Number two, it did keep the protections for whistleblowers where it was at the end of 2022, but they did not add the extensions that were coming in 2023. People still have to turn their stuff in to Arrow, which nobody's going to do. People don't trust Arrow at all, because the people that are on the inside wanting to bring this out, they know for a fact that Kirkpatrick got in front of Congress and lied to the senators, claiming they didn't have anything when they had been in and talked to him. So the people who work inside these programs won't go talk to Arrow anymore.
Okay. I know you're a Democrat, okay, and you bleed your colors very brightly all over your chest. But I'm going to ask for a real impartial answer here, because to me, watching the Republican 5 of the old guard squash the Schumer amendment.
This has absolutely nothing to do with Republicans, because in both the House and the Senate, the support for that bill was bipartisan. It was unanimous in the Senate, Armed Services and Intelligence Committees. It was nearly unanimous in the House, similar committees, but in the House, a committee chairman is God. If a committee chairman doesn't want it to go, It's not going to go unless you take it to the speaker and the speaker gives you permission. Well, guess what? The speaker was a part of the cabal that kept it secret.
And that's the point I'm getting at, because the younger Republicans, okay, whether it's Tim Burchett, Matt Gaetz, Anna Luna, and many others who are supporting this bipartisan bill, okay, they've all had people from military bases and elsewhere come up to them and explain, we need to get this passed. We need to have this. And like you said, the younger generation wants this to happen. But that old guard of Republicans who's been waving the red, white, and blue along with their checks that they're collecting from the military industrial complex, they seem to want to play the old school rules and have the powers to make amendments.
Yep.
Or change amendments. So how much do you think this is going to cause an inside ruckus for Congress between the Republicans and those who shot it down?
They know, the people that want to do disclosure know that it was 5 people. They're going to work against them. I promise you, there will be campaign dollars spent on whoever opposes them to try to get them out of Congress. It probably won't work, but at least they're going to try. But Rogers and Turner, they are deep. They're not going to get thrown out of office.
I'm not saying thrown out of office, but is this something that could, and I don't know how American politics works, but is this something that could bring some infighting down the road?
Yes. But there's already, look, there's nonstop infighting in the GOP and the House now. This is just going to be one more thing to have a fight about. But look, there's Democrats in the House that are opposed. Who are they? They're Dan Himes from California. He doesn't want all this stuff to come out. He's got a ton of military bases and a ton of aerospace contractors that operate in California, and they don't want this stuff out. It has nothing to do with party. It has to do with who owns you.
I agree with that. I think that is the nail on the head right there. Who owns you? And a lot of these people, like you said, I mean, you go to California on that eastern side of the state, it is almost all military from north to south.
Just let me throw in an ad lib. I hope Catherine Jones comes to Reno.
Oh, she will be.
I hope she comes, and her son too.
Charlie's great. Well, let's give a shout out to Charlie and Mama Catherine for their amazement. And
they are great fans of this show, and I really hope they come.
All the way from Atlanta.
Yep.
All the way from Atlanta.
Where my brother lives.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. Hey, we never stop the show for guests, but Mama Catherine and Charlie.
You better believe it.
Yeah, we'll stop anything for them. And I know she's laughing and going, "Oh, geez, Dave, I love you." I know she's doing that right
now.
Yeah. Totally feel it. But Bob, I mean, where do we go from here with the Schumer amendment being washed right down?
Okay, so you and I probably have similar sources that are telling us that this was not the main game anyway, that there's a plan. And there's a plan been going on for a while, and it's still going to happen. There's some disclosure event that's planned, and Steve Bassett knows that this thing has been planned, and he keeps getting wrong of when it's going to happen. I mean, when people told that there was going to be appearances and Grush was going to come out on News Nation and so forth and so on, he thought the disclosure event was going to happen that night, and the day after, Biden was going to be at the podium telling the American people we have non-human intelligences. Well, the timing is wrong. They are not related. What is planned by the insiders has been in the works for years before Grush started working for UAPTF.
Okay. So what is plan B? What are you hearing about plan B?
I don't know the details. I trust the people that are telling me that there's a disclosure event planned. But I don't know the details.
How do they get around this when the Defense Act will be set for 1 year? How do they get around that to continue the news coming out?
Oh, it's just going to be covered nonstop in both the House and the Senate. It's pretty clear that Rounds and Schumer, they're fired up. And Schumer's doing this for his deceased pal, Harry Reid. That's one of his main motivations. And he is not going to let go now that he's got the bit between his teeth. He and Rounds were upset in the well of the Senate today.
Yeah, well, everybody was fired up over this topic.
Yep. And UFO Twitter, it's just amazing. You got people claiming and buoyed by Danny Sheehan about what the horrible parts are inside the UAPDA, and it's like people can't read English. The 25-year thing, they're misreading the language. Anything that was first classified 25 years ago is declassified on the first day the act is signed. The first day. So if it's 2024 minus 25, so 2009, whatever, forward, everything be that or before is unclassified. That includes Roswell. That includes Socorro, New Mexico. That includes a lot of things, Dave. And it's now declassified unless they went to this panel and got it reclassified.
Are you fearful or wondering if eminent domain is going to come into play here?
It won't, because it's that's out of the act.
Well, could it not be brought forward in other acts or by other politicians?
No, because the only hope of getting that language through with almost no opposition is the NDAA, because every congressman and senator gets a ton of money out of that act. No, that's the right place, and that's the only place it'll work, because It can cover both intelligence and armed services.
What about catastrophic disclosure then?
Well, that might be what happens, and it's just tough luck.
I don't see it happening. I don't see the Invisible College allowing that to happen. You know more about the Invisible College.
I think the 40 or so and growing people who are behind Grush and wanting the UAPDA signed, a bunch of them are angry now, and they're no longer worried about it coming out. So I think one or more will come out, and I'll give you Tim Gallaudet, a rear admiral. He's not on the inside of those weird programs, but he's out saying the non-human intelligences are here, and they're all in our oceans and in our air. Came right out of his mouth in his interview, recent interview with Ross Coulthard. And he was a rear admiral. He was the weatherman for the entire U.S. Navy. And then he ran NOAA with access to all their satellites and other sensors. I mean, he knows, and he that came right out of Tim's mouth. Hey, I can't lie about a brother. Tim and I've been on the same submarine.
Yeah, I wouldn't do a submarine. Too dangerous. Too dangerous. You know, audience questions are starting to build up, Bob, and we will
Let's do it. Let's get
to a bunch of those when we return for hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio tonight. And it's good to have all of you with us, because you can hear the emotions flowing through the disclosure world as disclosure took a step backwards with the wiping of the Schumer Amendment. Science Bob and Friends with Dr. Bob McGwier continues right after this. Stay tuned. All right, we are clear. Bob, I'm going to change topics, ease it up a little bit in hour number 2, and we'll take some questions here. It's going to, I'll just hit you up when it comes to it.
Okay.
But Dirty Filth, where are you hiding?
I'm hiding behind the camera so no one has to look at
What do
me.
you got for us tonight, buddy?
Aliens that park like my grandmother.
Nice.
Oh, it's all blurry. What the hell's? Oh. Ruined it, Dave. There we go.
Is it fixed focus, Phil?
I don't know. I just got a cheap old camera.
Yes, fixed focus. Yeah. Of course, I don't like autofocus. If you do throw a shadow on it or move your hand or whatever, it changes focus. Yeah, there, that's clear. Yeah, it's got a short focus. It's nearsighted.
There we go.
Yep, that looks good.
They ate too many chicken wings and now forgot his keys back at the space bar.
Parked like your grandmother, smashed into the ground.
That's how that silver UFO got showed. Egg-shaped UFO.
Yeah,
showed
the
up at Roswell.
the silver egg.
It's silver without the fancy bright light on it. Trust me. I'm just waiting so we can have portals. I don't have to take a 4-hour flight down to Vegas or whatever.
I want free energy and portals. That's exactly what I want.
Does that include high-speed internet?
Yeah, because the portal will be done by the same quantum mechanical laws that will allow for instantaneous communication that can't be hacked. There's a beautiful mathematical theorem about quantum mechanics that says a network built on quantum mechanical things can't be easily hacked. Unless you have a 3-letter name beginning with G.
You know, what about like portable wormholes and things like that?
If you believe Jack Serfati, you can have one with a battery.
Yeah, I remember I've seen something on Twitter. I can't remember who was talking about it. X, formerly Twitter. And I just seen Sarfati's name in there, and I was like, what batteries? I was just kind of going through it, and I was thinking about it the other day at work.
Yeah, I see like 24 misses from Jack Serfati every day about his physics work.
It's a little difficult for normies like me to comprehend, but I still find it.
Oh, it's hard for almost anyone, and I'm about 2 months behind because he throws all this stuff out, and he of course says it's like it's fact. Of course, then you got to, and I've caught him making a couple of mistakes and help him credit. He doesn't give you credit if you help him fix his mistakes. That's for sure.
It's just that real hard professor back in college days.
Well, that and he's a political bomb thrower. Nothing to do with UFOs, and let's not do politics here, but he is definitely a political bomb thrower. It makes him very unpopular with a lot of people. And people that don't agree with his stuff, he goes all in with a hatchet.
Good. Hatchets are nice and violent. I bet. Do you think he double dips his chips at parties?
Oh, 100%. 100%. 100%. We got 90 seconds. Want to remind people that thank you to Louis ×2, Mama Catherine, Michael, Road Flare, Gizmo, and Bob for the super chats tonight. Very much appreciate your love and support of SOR. Okay. And May make sure you mark May 10th through 12th on your calendar, because it's our 3rd annual fan party, Reno, Nevada. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Hey, there's Blob. Hold on. We got a Blob sighting.
Uh-oh.
There's Blob hanging on out. Blob trumps everything.
Yeah, that's even more important than UFO news.
Yeah, we love our
She's a
Blob
good girl.
around.
I had
Yep.
a cat that looked exactly like her. 14 and a half years old when she passed away.
Blob's ancient.
Yep, mine was ancient. Looked just like it.
All right, gentlemen, have a great night.
See
You
you,
too.
Dirty.
See you. Dirty filth, everybody. Good night, Blob. Oh, we love Blob around here.
Mm-hmm.
Love Blob. And yeah, so May 10th through 12th, 2024, 3rd annual fan party that we're going to put together in Reno, Nevada at the SOR fan party at the Silver Legacy Casino and Resort. Tickets are on sale now, $100 for VIP, $60 for regular tickets. You get a free live radio show with all the Spaced Out Radio hosts, guests like Science Bob who are coming there. Mama Catherine will be there too. Here we go.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Here we go with hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Very much appreciate earning your listening ears wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Hello to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on Odyssey Radio, TalkStream Live, and KPNL. All of our archives are free. Join us at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Saginate. Saginate is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and you can join us on Patreon in the SOR Space Travelers Club. We continue on with Science Bob, Dr. Bob McGwier on Science Bob and Friends, which happens every month here on Spaced Out Radio, and it's its final appearance of 2023. Science Bob, this year has flown by, and it's been pretty awesome, hasn't it?
Oh man, I can't believe it's the first hour went by that quick.
Oh, tell me about it. Tell me about it. I want to have some fun with you here, Bob.
Let's do it. Let's have some fun. Let's not gripe about anything. Let's have some fun.
All right. Well, this does include something that investigative journalist Ross Coulthart had been putting out. Okay, and it is regarding a military patch. Okay, and that military patch, he says, comes from Area 51. It has, if you're looking at it, it has a bunch of white cone shapes all around, a silver orb, a lightning bolt, binary code, which in the middle of that binary code is a circle, like a bullseye, like a
With
dart
a star in it.
with a star in it. Now, one of the things that I love about military patches, and that I've been really, really studying with a good sourced friend of mine, is what their meaning is. Now, in talking to this friend, okay, he contradicts everything that this patch allegedly means. That it is not from Area 51. It is not an alien patch showing that there are aliens in the desert. But military patches really do play a strong part in missions, in everything that the military and alphabet agencies use. What's your thoughts on these type of patches telling a story?
Well, they typically do have a story, and but like all the mission patches for the National Reconnaissance Office, they have something interesting on them, but you have to be an insider to even be able to interpret them. This one, I'm sure, is about electronic intelligence and electronic warfare. Somebody who does that. So I'm convinced, but that's all I'll say.
Well, it says measure, analyze, protect on it. So that tells me it's almost like radar or something along those
electronic intelligence and electronic warfare. I agree. So the measure means how does the enemy do things, analyze it, and use it to protect our people. This is an electronic intelligence and electronic warfare patch. Random guy says I'm right. I'm pretty sure I am.
Well,
I probably have never seen this patch before.
Well, and the reason why I ask is because Ross Coulthart, not to put down his research, but one of his insiders is claiming that the silver orb on that, which to me looks like the moon, not a UFO silver orb, okay, is something that is projecting to be an alien craft.
Well, I mean, look, if my late great uncle told me a story, and he told it to me 50 years ago, and he's deceased now, about something he handed down to me, I would take it with a grain of salt. Because that's the story. Sam Urquhart's late great uncle told him the story behind this patch. And I'm just telling you from looking at it, it is about electronic warfare and electronic intelligence.
I'm going to share another patch here. Okay. And this one actually means a lot to me because the first time I saw it, I was 18 years old at the Abbotsford International Air Show. And this was in 1991. And they brought in a pilot from an F-117 stealth fighter pilot. Okay. And I remember asking this gentleman about his patch. I said, and if you notice something on the patch, our radio audience won't be able to see this, but if you notice something on the patch, it's the saying on top where it says, "We own the night."
Oh, yeah.
Which now everybody will be able to know where I got the slogan from for our radio show, where I say together.
And you can see the F-117 on the star field.
You could, but exactly, you can see the F-117 in the star field here, and you can, if you look close on it, you can see the stars. There's Baghdad in the background. There's the Persian Gulf in the background with oil rigs in there. You have the Skunk, which is a Lockheed Skunk Works project.
Yep.
Okay. Operation Desert Storm. You see the tracks going into the vehicle tracks going into Baghdad or all around. Once again, you see a mosque. I believe there are 12 stars on this, or maybe 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm not sure what the stars mean. I haven't figured that out. But this just goes to show how patches in the military really do mean something, and they all have a creative meaning. Some of those patches that have been seen do have UFOs on them. They do have alien gray heads on them, right? Now, a lot of people will say, well, that patch means that they're working with it. I don't believe that any patch is going to show something covert like I'm working with aliens. What do you think?
I can't think of one that would get past the security officer, because that had to be approved by the security office.
Right. So when you look at and here's the point that I'm getting at, because Ross Coulthart is an extremely good journalist. I think we can appreciate what he is brought to the table in regards to news and everything that kind of goes along with it. Okay. But there are others out there behind the scenes who are saying, Ross, you're getting the wool pulled over your eyes here. Are you in too deep, or do you have a source that is trying to throw you off?
About this patch?
Yeah.
Oh, this patch is not about UFOs. That's just all there is to it.
Well, I understand that, but when a journalist like Ross is coming out stating, and trust me when I say this, I like Ross Coulthard. I think he has done some incredible journalism regarding this story.
Yep.
But at some point, like where he is claiming that this patch is from Area 51, where he is claiming that it deals with aliens, okay? To anybody who does not understand the meaning of these specialized patches, Bob, I'm sure on missions that you were on back in the day that you got patches, you
Or
had
coins.
or coins.
Yeah.
What is so for people like me who've never served in the military, what is the purpose of a patch or a coin?
To say you were involved. You had a role in that mission.
And only a specific few get those.
People who were involved.
So in your collection, did you hold on to them?
Absolutely have every one of them.
And am I allowed to ask how many you have?
Whew. Probably 24.
Did any of them have UFOs or aliens on them?
Nope. Yeah, I was never read into the ugly secrets. I didn't learn about the ugly secrets until I was no longer doing that work. I was a university professor training people to do that work, but I was not doing that work anymore. And I heard about stuff happening in 2016 and 17 that became true on the front page of the New York Times when Ralph and Leslie and Helene Cooper published their article.
Simon says in the chat room, 11001001 was actually a Star Trek episode.
I don't know. Hang on just a minute.
Random guy in the chat room who does have military service says, we usually put imagery as a joke about aliens, dragons, ghosts, etc., because we know the public thinks we are aliens.
All sorts of reasons are for that.
Bob's in deep thinking here right now. It's nice watching his mind work.
So I'm looking at the aliens from the particular episode, the Binars. I'm also trying to find the ASCII code. I won't waste any more time on it. But go look up ASCII codes. Yes, 8 digits is outside of ASCII code. Never mind.
Well, according to, and this is interesting to this patch, 11001001 in the binary code for this is Star Trek: The Next Generation, Season 1, Episode 15.
This is the Next Generation?
Yes. So maybe there's something in that episode that dictates some sort of
that is the name. That is the exact name. That binary pattern for season 1, episode 15. That's the name of the episode.
Yes, which makes it interesting. Derek also says in the chat room, 11001001 is 69 in hexadecimal.
It is. 1100 is 6, and 1001 is 9. Binary changed to decimal, that's 69. The first one is 4. The second one is 2. So that first one is 4 plus 2 is 6. The second one, so you get the idea.
No, I have zero clue on how binary code works.
Actually, that's 12. That's 12 and 9. I don't know. The nibbles are 12 and 9. So I don't know.
Random Guy states, fun fact, Air Force crypto intel job codes are 1 N as in November, 0 combos.
Yeah.
Way above my pay scale.
Oh, yeah.
Way above my pay scale.
Yep.
But I don't know what these cones are on this patch. I'm assuming that the gray orb down below is more so a not like the Mosul orb, but more so maybe the moon traveling at night.
I'm looking at that, and I'm going to tell you, to me, the lightning bolt, the binary, the target, and the lightning bolt separating the target from whatever's on the bottom left side tells me that those cones that are in triplets that look like that, that's an array pattern from an antenna. So that would be the pattern of the antenna for whatever is doing the collection. That's what I think. I have never seen this patch before, so I'm just reading it like an old hand would read it.
Well, you know what? It does tell the story, probably for some intel.
Yep.
The star with the bullseye. What do you make of that?
The bullseye is the target. I don't know what the star means. I don't know the significance of the star.
The star would be United States, would it not?
Could be. Of course, it's also the Soviet Union. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, but it's not red.
It's true. But there's not the right red or white on that patch. Red or blue on that patch, sorry.
And the stars on the American flag are white, correct?
Yes. They're in a field of alternating blue, white, and then there's red and white stripes.
Isn't the Air Force star blue?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Interesting. I love how the patches tell the stories.
Yeah.
And I wish more people out there would take the time to learn about patches, because even with what we do in the UFO community, patches tell the story of where to look and where not to look.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And what's being hidden there. So for instance, like with Random Guy saying earlier about the patches, it's not about aliens. They're not going to get, if they were working with aliens, they're not going to get approved to get a patch that has an alien head on it. There's always significance to what everything means on a patch, from the stars in the sky to, a skunk. We know every time you see a patch with a skunk on it, we know that means Lockheed Skunk Works.
I love Random Guy's patch with the alien and the planetary orbs and all that stuff. It's nice.
I made that one up for him. I made that one up for him. He needed his own patch, which is a shirt on our Spaced Out Radio store, by the way. But,
yep.
But I mean, it's just, I guess what I'm worried about, Bob, in the long run with Ross Coulthart being convinced that this is some sort of military patch. Like he on the tweet that he put this out, he said, "Remember the Area 51 patch I told you about some months back? More detail today from @Josh T. Boswell of @Mail Online, telling us the story of Eric Tabor's late great uncle Sam Urquhart, an Area 51 contractor, metallic egg-shaped UFO was kept at Area 51.
Well, you saw that Filthy's art tonight was the metallic egg-shaped UFO crashed into the ground.
Well, the silver orb on this patch
It's
sure
not
doesn't look
egg-shaped.
like sure not egg-shaped.
No.
I just find that interesting. And I think, anyways, getting back to my concern, Bob, I think we are at that part of the game, and this is where I'm going to kind of be a little bit concerned because of all the different avenues the UFO story has taken. Could he be being trolled by what he feels are sources?
Oh, I'm sure he has some of those. But look, this one is not really relevant to his major story. I just think it's a cute story. So yeah, he could be, and I don't think he's taking this one all that seriously, because his other parts of his story, holy mackerel, he gets dozens of sources before he brings these things out for these UFO stories. Many sources, and he had one that was the chief scientist for the Navy before he passed away from cancer. That was his major source. And the person that introduced him to everybody he knows inside the secret. And the reason you know this is because Ross has told everybody. He's named the name of the chief scientist.
It's very interesting because I think what's happening here with the UFO story and being covered by UAP, I think we are now seeing an intel game of fictional stories.
Well, that's always going to be true, Dave. The military is always going to put out fictional stories. I know for a fact that during the Reagan administration, they knew there was a mole. And so they put a bunch of fake documents where the mole could find them to mess with the Russians. That's how intricate this game is. It's called the Great Game for a reason.
Is it, could we call it American espionage?
But all sides play the game this way. All of them. And the masters who set the stage for how everybody does it are the Brits.
Why the Brits? Why does everybody have a Brit?
Because the British we used to be a colony of Britain. We learned how to do stuff from them.
Well, until you went treasonous back in 1776.
True.
All hail the Commonwealth. We got a minute to go here before we got to.
Hey, the United States loves the Commonwealth.
Yeah, I know. You just don't want to be a part of it. You don't want to have tea anymore. You like your coffee too much.
Well, we don't want royalty as our head of government.
Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it.
Well, I mean, it's hard to change past now since we rebelled against them.
I hear you. 30 seconds to go here, Bob. When we come back from the break, we are going to go to audience questions.
Yep, we need
regarding our topic for tonight, because that's always a big part of what we do here on Science Bob and Friends. It's been a very entertaining and exciting show with Dr. Bob McGwier, also known as Science Bob around these parts, as it is his final appearance of 2023 here on Spaced Out Radio, and we will bring Bob back next year for 2024, because I do have a feeling this UFO story is not going to go away anytime soon, and we're going to make sure that we are on top of it all the time. Once again, if you're in our YouTube chat, put your questions in capital letters. We will get to them. Science Bob and Friends happens each month here on Spaced Out Radio. We will return right after this. Stay tuned. Yeah, I think I honestly do believe that Ross got burnt on that one.
I think so, because that I told you what the patch had to mean, and a random guy came and said it was right. I mean, it just has to mean that. I've seen patches like it, not that one, but seen ones like it.
Yeah. I mean, it just, I don't know. I really don't know. Really
So,
don't.
though, I mean, look, the sources may have told him other things that he's been able to independently confirm, and they just dropped this in for a freebie, and he thought it was cute because it's not relevant to his big story.
Very true.
I mean,
Well,
he will.
well, hold on. No, I will. I don't want to disagree with that, but I think Ross. I think Ross, not being an American, okay, can be. I don't want to say fooled, okay, but can be played a little bit for the sake of not fully being aware of how the intel side works. I'm using my words carefully here because I don't want to I don't want to think that people to think that that Ross is an imbecile or anything along those lines, because I think the guy is very smart and is
Oh, he's very smart. Look, and he cultivated Nat Kobitz, who was the chief scientist for the Navy, and got one of the best sources any investigative reporter ever got. And they passed away, and after that, everything he was told was free to use.
Thank you, Shaq, for a wonderful super chat, my man. Very much appreciate that. Thank you to Shaq and Thomas and Mama Catherine, Michael, Louis Times 2, Bob Gizmo, and Road Flare for the super chats tonight. Very much appreciate it. Once again, make sure you put in your questions for Bob in capital letters. We have a few. And we want to make sure that we get good questions into Science Bob here, guys. Okay. Not questions like, what kind of pizza did you eat last? Bob will never talk pizza on this show because he protects his pizza more than he does his own relationship with la 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 la. Right.
I protect my pizza.
Yeah. I'm telling you, Science Bob could pound back a pizza like anybody's business. I've seen it. I've seen
I can
it.
scarf that thing down in a heartbeat.
Yeah. And one of those New York style ones where the slices are like 8 inches, 10 inches long. Oh yeah.
Yeah, yes. I pick it up and I roll it into a tube and I just put the whole thing in my mouth.
Oh yeah. Yep. I know the feeling. Deborah Norsworthy, how you doing? And who else is joining us here? All right, that should be enough. Okay, we got a few questions here. All right, and I'm starving right now. Christine, I'm like you. I'm on water. Here's my water, Christine. Right there. It's like my 10th cup of water today.
Ugh. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I quit ice caps and Pepsi, my two addictions.
I'm down to 1 cup of coffee a day.
Tokeland, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, even talking about the pizza, man, honestly, I probably gained 4 pounds just from that conversation right there.
Pizza is one of the first things if you have a glycemia problem. You're nearly diabetic, you don't want to eat pizza.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Reminder, our store is open at spacedoutradio.com. We do not have ugly swag, people. Nothing ugly about our swag. Okay, it's not the type of clothing you wear to the flea market or mowing your lawn or gardening or cleaning up the dog shit. Okay, that's not our swag. We got nice stuff for you. Troy SR71. How you doing, buddy? So go to our website, spacedoutradio.com. Check out our swag today, and let's make this happen. Here we go with the next half hour, everybody. Second half of Spaced Out Radio is now underway. Good to have you with us. My name is Dave Scott. Very much appreciate earning your listening ears. Reminder to all of you that if you've missed portions of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. We have until the top of the hour, final appearance of 2023 with Science Bob, otherwise known as Dr. Bob McGwier. And Bob, we're going to get to some audience questions for you, bud.
Good.
Love dealing with our audience. And we're going to start off tonight with Eli, who is asking, once Dave's op-ed comes out, I'm assuming David Grush, because I don't have an op-ed coming out, will it be a gateway for other firsthand whistleblowers to come forward?
I believe the answer is yes, because he, through his existence and the actions he has taken, have caused these people to come forward. And once he tells stuff, other people who are involved with the stuff he reveals may decide to come forward, even if he doesn't know they're involved. So the answer is yes.
How many more whistleblowers do you think we need in order to absolutely 100% captivate the American and world public on this subject?
Nothing will happen until we show them a body and a craft. If you want to captivate them, you have to do something like that. So I don't know the answer. And the military and the intelligence community will be loath to show our adversaries what craft we have. We want to keep them guessing. They probably already know, but we don't want to make it easy for them.
Right. That is very good. Very good. Okay, let's move to another question. Simon in Australia has a pair of questions here. Where's all the taxpayer money going, if not to Black Ops programs?
Well, I mean, you can go read the budget and tell where it goes. I mean, we spend a huge amount of money. We spend $900 billion on military for all of that stuff, whether it's black or not, weapons, personnel, etc. And then a huge amount of the federal budget goes for taxpayer paid for social programs like Social Security and Medicare and those things. They are consumers of large amounts of money. There's very little left in the discretionary non-defense budget dollars.
Just trillions that just seem to go.
Yeah.
Advantage.
And I'm not one of these that worries major league about the deficit, because the Federal Reserve can just wet up the ink jets and print more money.
True. All right. Follow up from Simon. Is it a false flag disclosure plan, like Dr. Stephen Greer said?
I believe that the military and the intelligence community wants everything they can identify as a possible threat to be viewed as a threat by Congress, so they'll give them more money. Yes.
So, yes or no to Greer?
I don't. I don't know about Greer's plan, but things like that will be used by the military and the intelligence community to ask Congress for more money.
Probably going to happen, bud. Probably going to happen. Let's go to Eli here. Bob, can we expect more firsthand whistleblowers to come forward after?
Yeah, that's a repeat of the other one, and the answer is yes.
Yeah. No, I understand that, but have you heard, let me rephrase this question then. Have you heard any names behind the scenes that could pop up?
No, I have not.
Do you think that those people, whoever they are, might be in a little bit of, I'm going to use the term fear, okay?
We know that we know that already. They are afraid.
Okay, so for people who are unfamiliar with that fear, explain what that is.
You've signed away when you sign a non-disclosure agreement, you waive all of your rights for them to come after you under any terms they want to if you cross the line and do something that's covered by the non-disclosure agreement. And apparently, the non-disclosure agreements for people that work on these reverse engineering and alien handling programs involve them allowing to sanction you to the maximum possible extent if you cross them.
So in other words, not a lot of fun.
Not much fun. It's not fun signing one of those NDAs and have a polygraph many times a year. That is not fun.
Simon is asking, Science Bob, have you been warned to keep certain things off the air?
I was warned the minute I signed an NDA not to talk about certain things without permission, and I don't.
You did get a phone call, though, about hanging out with me.
Mm-hmm. I just told them who you were, and that's that.
Yeah, some Canadian hick. That's all he said. Yeah, just some Canadian hick. Thanks.
He's up there in the outback of British Columbia with the mooses.
You got that right. You got that right. All right, let's go to Derek's question here. Why did David Grush originally say he didn't have firsthand knowledge? Now he's saying he does. Why the flip and flop?
Okay, so there's firsthand knowledge and there's firsthand knowledge. Did he go and put his hand on an alien body? No. Did he get to talk to people and look at the written reports and photographs that they themselves took, maybe even visit the facility where the things were kept? Probably yes. I mean, some stuff he's firsthand, some stuff not firsthand. Has he been inside of a craft? The answer is no. But we don't need Grush. We have Jim Lukatsky telling us we have a craft and we've been inside it. And he is a guy that ought to know, because I'm pretty sure he's on the inside.
Is it more than just James Lukatsky?
Oh, yeah. There's 40 of them that we know about. We don't know their names. We know the number.
Let's head over to Wee Runa Farm. Science Bob, have you looked into the leaked MH370 orb drone video? Any thought?
Here's what I have found, and here's how. So you see this fake picture that's behind me?
Radio audience won't see that.
Okay, so there's a fake picture behind me. It has a UFO in it and a rocket being shot at it. So it's easy to take that beautiful mountain picture and add the rocket and the UFO with software. So what happens when you do those kinds of fake videos is people typically make mistakes. So they took the cloud background and they put it on a loop for all the other orbits of the orbs around the airplane, and the cloud pattern didn't change down to the bit. So that digital representation of those cloud patterns never changed throughout the video. That can't happen in a real video. It's a fake. No matter what this guy says, he's got a fake. So then the other thing is he accepted this wild explanation that it was a portal that they went through. It was a Bose-Einstein condensate. And Bose-Einstein condensate, sorry, is a particular phase of matter when they get exceedingly cold, down near zero, absolute zero. And the engines in those videos are red because that means hot. They're still running, so they can't be anywhere near absolute zero. And if you got that airplane near absolute zero, it would crack and fall apart like an ice cube being struck with an ice pick. It's just, the guy's just full of crap, and he is a complete jackass. I told him what was wrong with the videos from the infrared scans, and he blocked me in every place he could just for telling him he'd made a mistake. And I told him why. I wasn't disrespectful, and he blocked me. And then the guy went, the last straw for me was when he went on to an ex-Twitter space and invited everyone he had blocked to come in and beg him for forgiveness if they wanted to be unblocked. I mean, it was just unreal. The guy's a kid. He's a child who doesn't know what he's talking about.
I love it. Yeah, I do believe there is a conspiracy around the doomed flight MH370.
Oh, so do I. But I don't believe it's that.
But these fake videos of UFOs and orbs swirling around and making the craft disappear. This is where, we've said for a long time, Bob, with the new idea that pretty much anybody and their dog now can play with CGI and play with AI technology at their hands. This is the stuff we need to be careful of. This is, in talking to Bob Spearing from MUFON last night, a good friend of yours and mine, we talked a little bit about AI and how AI is going to create an immense difficulty to use any video evidence of UFOs now as evidence. We just can't.
So they're going to have to be massive adversarial learning, machine learning things put together that can learn how to both fake and detect a fake. Or we won't be. It's going to get to the point where video evidence alone won't be enough.
I agree. Let's move to another question here. Let's go to Troy SR71. Any thoughts about the new X-65 aircraft developed by Aurora Flight Sciences? This is a DARPA project.
I know just like that much about it, not enough to comment. But DARPA, that's their job. That's their job, is to be out on the bleeding edge, try new things. We wouldn't have the internet if it weren't for DARPA.
So basically, this is about a aircraft-sized drone.
Yeah, but we are definitely putting together drones that are the size of my hand and those that are as big as a jet. Unmanned aircraft are the future.
It says the X-65 will include modular wing configurations that enable future integration of advanced technologies for flight testing. DARPA noted.
Yep.
The new X-65 is the first X aircraft since the Air Force redesignated the NF-16D variable in-flight simulator aircraft as the X-62A in August of 2021. That puts it in an exclusive club that includes the Bell X-1, first airplane to ever break the sound barrier, the hypersonic X-15, or the other recents like the X-37 space plane, the hypersonic X-51 Wave Rider, and the X-61 Gremlins.
Yep.
It's all stuff that seems would be hidden at places like Area 51.
You can see the glamorous Glennis in the National Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C., the X-15.
Still don't know how Jaeger fit in there.
Barely. He had a broken arm. He went horseback riding the night before the flight and broke his arm and hid it so he could go do the flight.
Yeah, I would.
He had to close the canopy with a broom handle because his arm was broken.
Gee whiz. Gee whiz. All right, let's move over to another question here. So I close that out. Let's go to Paramarv. May we ask who or what agency, Bob, told you to be careful about what you talk about or who with?
Any agency that I've ever worked for, which is several, one way or another, I have to be careful about what I talk about because I've done a lot of classified stuff. And I don't talk about classified projects. I do not mention them. And I have never met an MIB that I'm aware of. I've met a bunch of counterintelligence people, and I've aided them in doing their job. But I don't, what you're calling MIB, I've never met one.
Okay, so talk about that for a minute, because that is insight that the majority of us will not have. Okay, what is it like when you all of a sudden have to deal with an intel officer because they are monitoring what you are saying, whether it's on podcasts or YouTube or other media, social medias? What happens when you got to deal with them? Or they check your phone logs, like when when you and I first met, they were checking your phone logs. So you still had a government phone, and there was all these phone numbers to Canada.
Yeah, it's just something you've given permission when you sign up for the program. I'll give you an example. So I'm a hobbyist radio guy. I do radio as a hobby because I'm an amateur radio operator. So I worked with this group to develop an advanced digital communication system back in the 1990s, and it came out big time in the early 2000s. And we put it out in the open, and anybody that wanted to use it could go grab the code and the hardware and make use of it. Well, it wound up that some bad guys that the government hated had access to the code and hardware that I had worked on. And they iced me out for 6 months before they screwed up the courage to come and ask me about it. As soon as I told them what happened and how they got it, and that it was free and available to anyone, the problem went away and I wasn't iced out anymore. So 6 months of my career, I was iced out from doing anything because they were afraid to ask me the question why they did the counterintelligence investigation. It's just stuff you have to live with.
What does iced out mean?
That they wouldn't let me go view any classified material that I was not already working with.
Gotcha. Have you ever been slapped on the hand for something along those lines?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, look, people make mistakes. And people like me are the kind of persons they want because everybody makes mistakes. When I make a mistake, I go in and report on myself. I go in and tell them what I did. And I said, for example, so I accidentally walked out in a bag with a classified document. And as soon as I discovered it, I went in and told on myself. And there was an investigation. We covered it from beginning to end. And they saw that there was no leakage, that I hadn't shown it to anybody. And they did an investigation. At the end of it, they went, bad boy, don't do it again.
Bad Bob.
People make mistakes, and they are aware that people are human.
We are not even talking about Science Bob anymore. We're talking about Bad Bob.
That's it.
All right. Let's get to another question here. We got two more for you in about 4.5 minutes. Let's go to Anthony here. New to our chat room. Welcome, Anthony. How the hell could the Sumerians have an inclination of anything remotely close to tech in the sky are descriptions that could only be explained by modern day human? That's the ultimate question.
That's a fantastic question. And of course, there's a lot of ancient alien answers. And so far as I'm concerned, that's a reasonable explanation, unless some Newtonian, Galilean, super Einsteinian super genius was also a Sumerian. The other thing is, it is just impossible to explain how the people that built the pyramids at Giza accomplished what they did. There are no known possible explanations to me. They had to have help. So there's a lot of these things that are just unexplainable to me. And that's a very good question, Anthony. We'd all like to know through. I want time travel so we can go back and check out history.
Simon wants to know, Science Bob, what does it take to climb the ranks in the secret world?
Success. If you are, you're either a political person climbing the office ladder, or you're a person that does something and you climb by succeeding. And I climbed by succeeding because I didn't want to be anybody's manager.
Including taking one in the butt.
Exactly.
How much ice cream did you have to eat?
Couple of buckets.
A day?
No, the whole time.
Are you going to share? So much like Forrest Gump, the Science Bob took a bullet to the ass there, and
shrapnel to the ass.
Okay, and literally was laid out for a while, having to eat ice cream, and so that way it's nice and smooth heading on out, rather than them using WD-40 or something along those lines.
Exactly.
You know, so what flavors of ice cream did you eat there, Bob?
Strawberry, chocolate, and vanilla. And
Neapolitan.
I like them all.
Neapolitan, that's my favorite.
I like Neapolitan, but I also like fruit, like peach ice cream. I love it. Strawberry, I love it.
You know, it's very hard to find in my grocery store, but one of my favorite ice creams now is called Shark Attack.
Oh yeah, what is that?
It's got a picture of a great white shark on it. Okay, a cartoon great white shark, and when you take the lid off, the ice cream on top is gray, like the color of the shark, and it is blue, like the color of the ocean. And throughout the blue, they have strawberry red streams going through, like blood going through the water.
Well, but I'm surprised you can eat it.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's my only revenge against sharks, Bob.
I see.
Only revenge. Let's go to Joe. Best Bob McGwier appearance on Spaced Out Radio was the night he fell asleep on the air. That's why I call him Sleepy Science Bob.
That's when we had the 3-person panel at the end of every month, and I fell asleep in the middle of it.
That was awesome, by the way.
That was fantastic.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
That was
I'll never, especially with Joe around, I'll never live it down.
Oh, no. No, we got to get Joe to our Reno event.
Yes, we do.
In order to actually see how fantastic his hair is, you know, because he's always bragging about how he's got hair of the gods, and you know, there's no proof. It's much like Bigfoot. There's no proof, and every time he sends a picture of his hair, it comes back in a blob squatch type of right. Science Bob, 30 seconds or less here. I want to say a giant thank you once again for being a huge part of Spaced Out Radio in 2023. You are a mentor, you are a friend, and you are somebody who I very much look up to, and am so glad that we have the relationship that we do. Merry Christmas to you and to your beautiful la 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 bright. And
I hope everyone has a happy holiday and a very, very happy new year in 2024. And it's my pleasure to be a part of the Spaced Out Radio family.
And we're going to continue that relationship in 2024 because Science Bob loves being here for Science Bob and Friends each and every month.
It's fun.
When we return for hour number 3, Steve Stockton from Among the Missing has another weird story. Then, filling in for Courtney Marcassani, who's traveling home, Sweet Robbie G comes in with the UFO report. We will be right back on Spaced Out Radio. Do you have Rolo ice cream down there?
Not that I'm aware of. I'm not a big ice cream eater.
Oh, see, that's a weakness for me. I don't eat a lot of ice cream, but I am totally an ice cream addict.
All right, Dave, I'm going to hit the rack.
You go, my friend. We'll
See
talk
you,
to you
pal.
soon, okay?
Yep, bye.
That's Science Bob there. I will be right back as well, people. Hour 3 coming up. Good to have you all here. Thank you for being with us. Luffy Pirate, how you doing? No, Dave's not eating a snack right now. Dave is fasting. Dave's only Fasting is water. The beep sound is Sweet Robbie G going into the background. Eva, how are you? No, we weren't missing avoiding the butt joke of Science Bob. All right. Thank you, Louie, ×2, Bob, Gizmo, Road Flare, Michael, Mama Catherine, Thomas, and Shaq for the great super chats tonight. Very much appreciate the love and support, everyone. It really helps out what we do on a nightly basis. So thank you. Also, remember, we do not have ugly swag. Sweet Robbie G even has his own gear, his own socks, t-shirt, boxer shorts. This man is representing SOR like anything right now. Yeah, we got some cool stuff up there for you. Make sure you check it on out because it is fantastic. And of course, we want to see all of you May 10th through 12th, 2024 at the 3rd annual SOR fan party in Reno, Nevada at the Silver Legacy Casino and Resort. Book your times today. Pick up your tickets from us. $100 for VIP. You get a swag bag with that as well and a VIP party. $60 if you don't want that. But we still want you there. Come join us. We got a lot of exciting stuff coming for you. Here we go, everyone, with hour number 3.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Here we go with the 3rd and final hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. Good to have you with us. My name is Dave Scott. Very much appreciate earning your listening ears wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Hello to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on Odyssey Radio, TalkStream Live, and KPNL. All of our archives are free. You can join us at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Saginate. Saginate is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and you can join me on Patreon in the SOR Space Travelers Club. It is that time of the night where we say hello to Steve Stockton from Among the Missing and another creepy story.
Hello, friends. Welcome to Among the Missing YouTube channel on Spaced Out Radio. I'm Steve Stockton, and I'm about to take you on an unbelievable journey of people just like you. Their stories and encounters will haunt us on Among the Missing. Hey there. Years and years ago, I was this little dude tearing around my uncle's farm in Ohio. Now, this farm was like a spooky adventure waiting to happen. So one day, I'm out rambling around, and I stumble upon this beat-up old pickup in the weeds out behind the barn. The thing looked like it had survived a tornado, but there was something off about it. I swear you could feel it in the air. Had a huge creep factor. I was just waiting for mysterious music to start, you know? Being the brave, or maybe just dumb kid that I was, I decided to investigate this truck closer. When I got up near it, the air suddenly felt all charged and staticky, and the barn doors started creaking like they're in some movie. I took a peek inside the dusty window of the truck, and there, to my surprise, there's this ghostly farmer dude in the driver's seat. Overalls, worn out hat, the whole deal. I'm freaking out, thinking my eyes are playing tricks on me. But he just sits there and keeps on staring straight ahead. Fear? Oh yeah, it hit me hard, but I can't look away. Eventually, the paralysis broke, and I stumbled my way back to the farmhouse. I told my uncle about what I'd seen, but he didn't buy it for a second. kids and their wild imaginations, right? But man, every time I passed that truck, I swear it had this ghostly aura. Fast forward to today. Thinking about that old Ohio farm gives me the willies. The haunted pickup with its ghostly farmer. It's one of those stories that just stays with you. Maybe the past really does have a way of hanging around, like that old truck rusting into the ground on my uncle's farm. Signed, Anonymous. The Headless Man. Hey, Steve, love your show. So I've got a creepy story to tell you about this crazy thing that happened to me back in the day. It was in Iowa, probably around 95, cornfields and a bunch of clueless kids thinking they're invincible. There was a corn maze in the neighborhood, and we decided to wander through it in the dead of night, thinking we were on some next level adventure. But oh boy, did it take a turn for the bizarre. It was so quiet, it was even as if the crickets took a break. And then we heard this creepy thudding sound, like someone stomping around with no care in the world. Lo and behold, somewhere in the middle of the corn maze, there he was, a guy without a head, just strolling around like he was out for a casual evening walk. It was the strangest thing I've ever seen. We were frozen, just watching this headless guy doing his thing. He looked disheveled, but he moved with purpose, even without a head. We didn't dare to make a peep, thinking the thing might come after us. After what felt like an eternity, he sort of disappeared into the dark, and the cornfield went back to its eerie silence. We got the heck out of there, didn't say much, just trying to process what the heck we just witnessed. It messed with our heads for weeks. We just couldn't shake off that feeling that we stumbled upon something way beyond our imagination. It wasn't our mind playing tricks. We legitimately had a supernatural encounter with a headless man in the corn. I guess as time passed, I kind of buried the memory, but if I stop and think about it long enough, it still haunts me, sometimes when I least expect it. That cornfield, that corn maze, our once upon a time playground, turned into this weird, mysterious spot. I thought this tale might fit in with your creepy podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Cheers, your friend, Chester. Massachusetts Shadows. Dear Midnight Mailbox, hope you're doing awesome. Have I got a story to share with you? It's about something that happened in a super old colonial house in Massachusetts. It was in the winter of 2003. Oh, wow.
She's been looking for an insight in that data forever.
Oh, gotta love it when a commercial comes
Did you
up.
tell her about Sapphire?
No, I thought
Gotta
you did.
love it when a commercial comes up. Ruining that. Oh well. We got to move on. But thank you to Steve Stockton from Among the Missing for another creepy story, even though some reason YouTube jumped a commercial in there. But that's okay. That's what we do. You can find more at youtube.com/Among the Missing. And make sure you hit subscribe, ring that bell. From the missing to the mysterious. Time for us to have fill in Rob G from After Hours here on Spaced Out Radio's YouTube channel, filling in for Courtney Marcastani, who's traveling back home, and the UFO report.
Nobody's gonna know. They're gonna know.
Been a busy week so far, sweet Robbie G, as we thank you for coming on in and hanging out with us tonight on the UFO report. How you doing, buddy?
Doing swell, Dave. Doing swell. We're following up after watching Mr. Rob McG, and then you go ahead and bring on Rob G. It's a wonderful night.
Hey, I never put that together.
Yeah.
Science Bob, Dr. Rob
McG.
And now we have sweet Robbie G.
Yes, sir.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So, been a busy day, a lot of anger and angst around the UFO world, Rob. Whether it's David Grush back on News Nation, whether it's the Schumer Amendment and Chuck Schumer not too pleased with his fellow older Republicans who shot down the bill. I mean, where do we even start with this today, my friend?
Well, it was actually, I saw that earlier today. It was pretty, it made me feel good, man. It made me feel good. It made me feel like the machine, so there's some compassion in the machine, because I believe what it is when you look at the government as a whole, it's a machine. But when you can see the individuals standing out and showing compassion, then it's a beautiful thing. So I felt like he wasn't, just talking. I felt like he really meant what he said about wanting to get to disclosure and kind of being blocked and calling people out. And so I felt really good about that, man. I was like, wow, refreshing.
I thought so as well. I mean, I can understand the anger and the angst that was going on with the Schumer amendment and people getting upset. Schumer himself was basically saying that he was very upset at the dynamics of how the politics seem to play out here. I mean, let's go back a step here for our audience who might not be very familiar, but have UFOs really, really, in your opinion, gone over the top with the politicalization of this subject?
Well, I don't think so, really. I don't think so. I think the topic has been carried as a very serious topic that it appears that they want to get to the bottom of. And the nice thing about it is that they are not, first of all, simply dismissing it right off the bat. I mean, they're really holding this like it's a real issue. And they have, for the most part, the politicians that are behind moving towards disclosure are being pretty careful to keep that line divided between UFOs and UAP, like they're doing it and generally this would be a situation where they want to write them off as UAP to kind of get the issue out of the way. But I've seen them handling it with gentle hands and really trying to keep that fine line there. So, and hopefully this plays into the upcoming presidential run this year, because I think this is a topic that I don't know if you can really politicize it, because it has nothing. Who's the benefit? The benefit is us, humanity. There is no financial or any sort of government entity that would benefit from this being disclosed. So that's my take.
The idea that we have to now watch this watered down version of the National Defense Act in the US without a lot of real moving progress and parts through the UFO community. In your opinion, what is the where does this hurt? Where does this hurt where we want to go?
Well, it depends on what side of the fence you're on, because like I say, the way that this should be looked at is if the government is on board and they take us down that path to get to where we need to go, then that's really the cherry on top. So truthfully, any sort of forward motion that they're doing over there, I'm okay with, as long as it hasn't been completely shut down. But the other part of that is that understanding that they've been holding this secret for the last 6, 70, 80, 90 years, that they really aren't going to get to a point to where it's really not in their benefit to get to the point of disclosure. But so any sort of forward progress is okay with me. I'm under the belief that we have to go a totally different route for disclosure through humanity. So because I feel that way, I don't really focus on what they're doing there, and any positive thing or forward motion is good.
Now, what is your opinion on that? How would you like to see it played out?
In the end, so in a perfect scenario, this is what I would love to see. I would love to see more people on the government's end realizing that this is beyond political. This is beyond even who we are as a country, as the world power. This is beyond all of that. So I would hope that someone would want to go ahead and step to the podium and go ahead and make the announcement, and then be the world leader at that point. Be the world leader in helping us figure out what the next step should be for humanity. Like, take it to that level. That's where I would love to see this go. And, hopefully, just like you said, we have government 3-letter agencies that tune into these shows. So hopefully this information gets to them, because there is a situation, there is a scenario where the governments and powers and leaders still exist, post disclosure. So hopefully someone in there, whether if it has to go up to the president and they make the speech just like you see on a movie, but they need to immediately turn their interest into what's best for humanity.
Do you think it has anything to do with aliens?
This whole thing? Heck yeah. Definitely has to do with aliens. Let's listen to the experiencers. Ask the experiencers. I haven't had a one-on-one contact, but I've heard many stories and talked to many people, and that's real. The aerial school kids saw what they saw. They saw beings getting off a craft. That's real. There's too many, like I say, that's what I said the other day. We go back to our own evidence. We go back to our own history that has nothing to do with the government, and we're able to answer all those questions pretty much immediately and with certainty. So it definitely has to do with aliens, no doubt.
Okay, as well as I do, the experiences are very, very, or the experiencers are very, very in tune with the truth of this subject, which means that they are having some sort of wild and crazy experience that the majority of the population is not going to be able to understand at any time. As an experiencer, I don't mind, even standing up for that. But the fact that we have, this amendment that really doesn't even touch on experiencers, does touch on the government and the military side of everything. When do you see, or people you've talked to, when do you see anything really start to moving towards the experiential side? Is that maybe the secret of 2024 we're hearing about? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, experiencers, that's the very next step in this conversation, actually. So whenever they can come, as far as the governments go, can come to grips with telling the people that there are these things here, then the very next part of that conversation is and has to be the stories that come from experiencers. Like, yeah, they're here and this is what they're doing. Because the next step is, well, why are they here? What are they doing? What's the purpose? And that's when they start examining the experiencer stories and talking about them publicly. Maybe that starts to be the conversation within Congress at that point, because I think what they find out, or what they would have to confront, is the fact that we're vulnerable as a public to the whims of whatever these ETs want to do. And so, yeah, they're here, and yeah, they visit, they come inside people's houses, and yeah, they abduct, and they do all these other things. And that's why I say they have a chance to be a part of that conversation because we know what it is. But, once they finally admit that part of it for themselves and speak about it freely and openly, then the very next step in that conversation is experiences.
Love it. Love it. We got 4 minutes to go here before we go to break at the bottom of the hour. UFO report, Rob G filling in for the traveling Courtney Marcassani, who should return in just a couple of nights' time. Now, Rob, I understand, that the experiencer has a role to play in this. I think, like you, it's not that far away, but it's still a big distance on where this conversation goes, especially when we can't even get, their own figureheads in Washington, D.C. to agree on an amendment for transparency. To me, we're still miles away, miles away from that happening. But for right now, how do you see this breaking up through the? I know you're not really a political guy, but how do you see this breaking up through the Republican Party, where all the younger Republicans were like, "Hey, we got some aliens, we need to talk about this," and the older guy is saying, shut up, go back to your seats, zip your mouths. We got this handled, and wipe the slate clean.
I think, and not even, I don't think you have to even be political to answer that question, because I think it's a direct reflection of what is happening in our own society, just as humans. So you have a new, younger generation that comes up that's completely open to this thing being what it is. And then you have the older generation on the skeptical side who just say this isn't it. Like, has to be something evil. These are demons, or what the narratives are there. So I think it's pretty much an exact mirror of what we're going through in society, which it means it's good, which means it's a good thing that's what's happening, because that means that when the old guard retires, then the new guard is ready to embrace this topic. So it's going to be it's a paradigm shifting moment, and politics may make a turn for the better, and hey, I'm all for that if that's the case,
as long as it's healthy.
Yeah, I mean, but who knows? This is uncharted territory. We're somewhere where we can't predict the results. We're learning every day where what could be the end result. We're navigating in real time on this path. So that's going to be the same thing for them in Washington, D.C. They're navigating this path for the first time, because it's getting to a point to where the secret can't be held anymore, and they know it's going to be something that has to be told. And so they're navigating this path for the first time, just like we are. Just hopefully they want to align themselves with humanity in order to get through this together, because if they leave us separate like this, and they don't give us the answers that we need, and we disclose ourselves, I don't know how it's going to work out for them on the other side, but we'll see.
Well, Senator Schumer said today, we've also been notified by multiple credible sources that information on UAPs has also been withheld from Congress, which, if true, is a violation of laws requiring full notification to the legislative branch. Now, to me, that says lawsuit, man.
Yeah, I mean, so decisions have to be made. Decisions have to be made. I mean, do you follow through with that? Do you follow through with the lawsuit, even though, this is a moment where maybe you should overlook certain things? That's going to be the conversation for a lot of this stuff that has to do with this immunity and things of that nature. What do you do in order to get the truth out? I would forego some of that. I would, it's just a call you have to make. Once again, we've never done this before. We've never been through a moment like this in real time. So some of those decisions have to be made. Maybe we don't prosecute. Maybe we don't sue.
We are going to continue with Rob G filling in for Courtney Marcassani on the UFO report tonight. When we return, more UFOs, more disclosure movement, where's them aliens hiding, and much more on Spaced Out Radio. All right, there you go.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's tough, man. We're in a crazy day. Crazy moment, man. No one knows the answer, too. It's we can only speculate and guess.
Oh, I hear you. I totally hear you.
Hello, everybody that said hello to me. I don't have keys to respond back right now, so shout out to everybody that said what's up, and to everybody else as well.
That works, eh?
That works, sir. That works, sir. So what are we? It's Wednesday, so a few more days of Jim Goodall. Can't wait, man. It's been a while. I haven't talked to Jim since September.
Love Jimmy.
I got to be in the presence of his energy. I got to absorb some of that Jim Goodall energy.
Oh, yeah. Serious greatness there.
Yeah.
Neil Ward, how you doing, buddy?
Neil Warden, Deb from Sacramento. Oh, yeah, so you do. Yeah, you got Paul Hynek on Friday. Okay, so that rolls right into the weekend.
Yep.
Okay.
Most not funny people in ufology.
You're pulling out the guns, man. I see you.
Yep. Paul Hynek, literally one of the most not funny people in ufology.
In case he's watching.
That's right. You heard me, Paul. You heard me. Him and I got in. Here's something funny. Is a couple of years ago in San Francisco, they do this game called Liar Liar, where you sit up on a panel and everybody brings an object, and the crowd has to figure out who's lying. And Paul would just scream "liar" to everybody. And
Funny.
long story short, during he was giving me a shot, and I threw him a shot back saying, "You're only famous because of your dad's work," right? And so he put in his presentation, he quickly modified his presentation and put something in there of me, right, to make fun of me.
What did he say?
So I forget what it was, like a still photo or something that he photoshopped. So the next year it's in San Fran, Liar Liar again, and I had put, in my speech that I was giving, I spoke first on the Friday night, and I said, I stopped my speech halfway through. I said, "This is your friendly reminder that Paul Hynek is not funny. Okay, don't laugh at his puns." And people thought that I was serious.
Wow.
And so Paul hears this, he's sitting there in the stands, and he's like, "Liar!" Right? And I'm like, "Hi, Paul. How you doing?" He's like, "Good." He goes, "I'm going to get you back now." So during his speech, he gets me back. Well, then this continues at the MUFON Symposium in Denver, where I literally stood up. I'm standing there. There's like 400 people in front of me. And halfway through, I remind people, Paul Hynek is not funny. He's gonna make you think he's funny, but realistically, he's not. I had so many people come up to me, and Paul happens to be in the stands again. Right? He's like, "Tomorrow, it's coming back at you." And I'm like, "That's fine." Right? Because I could take it. I got big shoulders. And so we've kind of developed this funny attitude towards each other.
Oh man, hilarious. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty great. It's pretty great.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we've got about 30 seconds. Thank you to Major Lee, Shaq Valet, Thomas Rock, Mama Catherine, Michael, Louis ×2, Science Bob, Gizmo, and Road Flare for the super chats. And what do we do at our store? What don't we have, Rob?
We do not have ugly swag.
No.
We have cute swag.
We got nice swag. Stuff you're going to want to wear to dinner, to the club, out jogging. We're just not mowing the lawn gear, man. Here we go. Final half hour, Spaced Out Radio. Here we go, everybody. My name is Dave Scott. Apparently, there's some serious northern lights out there. So if you got clear sky, go and check them on out. I can't. It's snowing here. Snowing like anything. So that's a good sign. Good sign. So appreciate you all tuning in. Reminder that if you missed portions of this show or others, all of our archives are free. All you got to do is join us at youtube.com/spaced out radio. Do me the favor. Hit that subscribe button. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire. Check out our swag as well. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. Filling in for a good friend, Courtney Marcassani, who is traveling back home to Alaska. Sweet Robbie G from our After Hours show on our YouTube channel on the UFO Report. Rob, thank you for being here, my man.
Anytime, Dave. Anytime, sir.
Not a problem. We love it when you're here. What kind of secrets do you think the U.S. government is trying to hide? Never mind UFOs, but what kind of secrets do you think they're trying to hide by changing the Schumer Amendment?
Type of secrets. So, I mean, obviously, the fact that we're not alone as far as intelligence-wise, that we're not highest on the food chain, that we're really susceptible to the whims of whatever these things are, that you shouldn't really technically feel safe walking around at night like you do. It's a long list of things. I mean, it's a list of things that, you know, being the world power. See, other countries don't feel the need to have to cover it up as heavily as the United States, because the United States is the world's power, the top dog as far as, you know, countries go. So they it's harder for them to kind of admit that they can't protect their own citizens. So I think that's really what it is, man. I think that's the, you know, obviously, as someone has said in the audience, they're covering up the ability for us to utilize this energy, this new energy that they may have uncovered. You know, it's a long list of things, man. There's selfish reasons behind why they don't want the conversation to happen. It's not really to protect us or, you know, prevent something from happening. They like to paint it, foreign entities knowing what it is that we're. No, it's none of that, because they have the same tech too. They've recovered the same tech too. They've been reverse engineering and doing all sorts of stuff. So there's nothing about that. It's all selfish reasons, if you want to be frank.
And those selfish reasons, to me, I would agree with, being experimental technology, whether it's hypersonic speed or faster, whether it is flying capabilities, whether it's a 0-point energy, anti-gravity, whatever it may be. I think that's what they're playing with. Those are the type of toys that are really being protected. We talked a little bit about that just the other night. I mean, look, the reason why we can't find anything is everything has been so compartmentalized. What does Raytheon have? What does Boeing have? What does Lockheed Skunk Works have? Never mind just metamaterials from UFO craft. Do they have craft? Do they have people, like David Grush is asking? But what more importantly, do they have that humanity could benefit from right now, but they're choosing not to?
And Dave, and I don't know. I mean, it depends on what side you fall on. If you believe they've been able to successfully reverse engineer or harness any of this stuff that they've recovered, and okay, so I would say if they have, then yeah, it's more so about that. But if you listen to Bob Lazar and anyone who has come out has never said that we've harnessed the capabilities of these extraterrestrial craft. So I'm in the boat that they're still trying to figure it out. And that would be the same for other countries out there too. So what are you really hiding? Are you hiding the fact that you haven't figured it out yet? Is it that sort of game that's being played? Not necessarily that we have figured it out and we've been able to apply it, but more so we're still trying to figure it out. We hope you guys haven't figured it out, so we don't want to let you know that we haven't figured it out yet, because if you guys have, then all of a sudden we're at a disadvantage. So it could be any of those things, right? And then it's just posturing, and a lot of posturing, and just a big game, man, truthfully.
Richard Dolan stated that he was disappointed but undeterred by the gutting of the UAP Disclosure Act. It was our beacon of hope for transparency on UAPs, now reduced to a shell. He doesn't believe it's the end. It could pave the way for explosive hearings on UAPs in the future. But here's the thing that I want to ask you about. And, once again, it's this transparency word. What kind of transparency do you think that we were going to get? Because I think there is a lot of ufologists out there who are mind numb to the fact that disclosure is disclosure, and we're going to get something really, really cool. I don't buy that for a second. There's a lot of national security involved with this type of subject, Rob, and I really do not see the government allowing major transparency towards disclosure. What's your thoughts?
That's exactly right. National security is the fall guy, is the distraction word, is the it doesn't mean anything when it comes to this subject. So and that's so we know this is slow drip disclosure. It's already been 90 years. It's been depending on how you want to look at it, a lifetime, maybe a couple lifetimes, 5 generations, 4 generations. It's been a long time to even get to this point. If you leave it in their hands, it'll be another 40, 50. We won't be here, Dave. We'll be long gone before they sit down and finally pass the final amendment that says we're going to actually say what it is. We'll be long gone. It'll be our kids and grandkids sitting dealing with the same issue, the same kick in the can. And then depending on how politics are 40 years down the line, is probably going to get kicked down the road another 40 years, depending on where we're at as humanity. So, they're going to always, especially now for today, in today's time, they're going to use national security as the reason why they, have to be so cautious in the way that they disclose the information, and that it shouldn't be immediately released. And some people in ufology are for that, and you're allowing them to talk us out of of having the government disclose. That's essentially, well, yeah, I understand. It shouldn't be released immediately. It could probably do it. No, it needs to be released immediately, because we have to, we can't start on where we're going until that happens. I mean, for the part of the people who pay attention to the government and need the government to be the ones to disclose, until you're gonna be led on and strung on for you the rest of your natural life, and we still won't be there. And it makes me sick, because I look at like the late Stanton Friedman, right? Spent all those years, and others spent all those years pushing for this and trying to get there and moving the needle, and then faces the end of his life where he doesn't even get to see, the things that we're doing and talking about today. And it's going to be another example of that if we allow this to continue the way that it's going. We have to do something new. The government won't disclose. 100 years says they won't do it. It's already passed. So we have to do something different. Yeah, it's a nice conversation to have. Yeah, it would be cool if they did on top of everything else. It would be cool, but don't count on it. Don't hold your breath. Don't spin your wheels on it. Don't invest your emotion into it, because they're a machine and they don't care about your emotions. They don't care about how you feel about this is taking too long, or they don't care about that. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just that's how I feel about it, man. I just don't feel like they it's in their best interest to do it. So I just don't think they ever will.
And once again, I agree with you on that. The secrets that they have on secret technology, secret airplanes, secret weaponry, high speed, faster than hypersonic, maybe 0 point energy, anti-gravity energy. Okay. There are too many things at risk that the United States government, which has since 9/11 really lived a paranoid life. Okay.
Right.
And has sold multi-trillions of dollars into defense capabilities since that day, because all anybody in DC has to say is, remember 9/11, and the checkbook's open. Now, I say that without disrespect to anybody who lost their lives on that horrific day, because that was horrific. But threat narratives really came out of that. Okay. And, when I say threat narratives on our subject line, people saying that they're here to destroy us. Tom DeLonge went on record on Joe Rogan. They're here to destroy us. I don't know about you, man. My house hasn't been destroyed by aliens yet.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple sides to that. It's a couple ways to look at it. We don't know why they're here. We just don't know. That's the truth of it. We don't know they're here for light and love. We don't know. We don't know if they're here to destroy us. We don't know. Now, the smartest thing to do is just to be prepared for either scenario. That's really just the smartest thing to do. So, prepare for the good, prepare for the bad. Because you may actually find, if you only prepare for one side and then the opposite happens, then you're in a bad spot. So, it's not wise to do that. And then to go off of what you just said, that's exactly what I was talking about with national security being the excuse or the distraction word. And it's all because of 9/11. It's all because of the last 20 years of our existence as America, and the silly things that we've done for control of, for whatever reason, selfish reasons, once again, going back to then and leading all the way up till now. So and that's the exact reason why you can't let yourself get wrapped up in what it is that they're saying, because it's not really in their future plans. It's not in any near future plan for them to tell you what's going on. And at the same time, like I said before, there's another abduction victim every day, or probably multiple. I don't know what the numbers are on that, but that means that as long as you stand idle on this, we're being subjected to who knows what going forward. Just open, just open. And it's like, we need to get to a point to where, okay, globally we realize it, so you can make decisions for yourself on what you would or would not do. Dave, would you? Well, you know, there's only says that this doesn't count for you, but for the average person, right? If the average person knew that there were things coming more intelligent than us from the sky, they do abduct people at times, they do these things, you would be you it would allow you to make decisions on how you moved with your family a lot more and a lot different. Yeah, it may not, you're going to look through it and make sure it's not a threat, but maybe you didn't take that 6-hour drive down that dark road by yourself if you knew potentially that there's something out there that the government couldn't protect you from. And not to say you shouldn't take that drive, it's just saying, giving you all the information that you need up front so you can make your own mind up on what you want to do with your life. And they're just kind of holding back the ability for you to do that. They're kind of suppressing us in that fact. So things have to change, man. And it's not like this to them. It's a down the road event, this disclosure thing, but for us it's happening now. So we some of us have already had disclosure, and then more and more people are having disclosure as sightings. More and more sightings happen, more and more experiences happen. So you may find out that globally 80% of everyone ends up having a sighting or some sort of experience before the government ever decides they want to disclose.
I think that's put perfectly, and then we have to figure out, like we've always talked about, is a disclosure or confirmation? At what
Right.
point do those two coincide? At what point do those two come together and really take this story by storm and move the project forward? That is, there's a lot of money, there's a lot of details that need to be organized around that. And I don't know whether or not at this point any government official truly wants to do that. They may talk a good game. Tim Burchett talks a fantastic game about UFOs. Yet everything ends up in a skiff behind scenes for Mr. Transparency.
I think there's a difference between, like, I don't know, what process you go through once you get into politics or into government work, period, that allows you to lose emotion and kind of side with your government over the friends and family that you grew up with your whole life. All of a sudden one day you're ice cold and you don't, it's all about what the government wants you to do. But there's a few people in there that still are in touch with that human side. And I think of Burchett, there's a few in there that have not completely been brainwashed into seeing this as government first. So what I'm hoping, because I know there's people in there, just like you had a Grush, you had a other names that have made a decision to side with the people over the government. And I'm just hoping more and more of those people kind of wake themselves up and say, you know what, I'm going to be done with politics after 20, 30 years, but this is a legacy for my descendants, my children, grandchildren, and all the way down the line. And they may not ever get into politics. They may just live life as normal civilian, normal human beings, and be at the whims of a political system. So I'm hoping, and it feels like that slowly that's kind of what we're seeing. And I'm just hoping that kind of ramps up. So because it's essentially the government being defected from the inside, and that's kind of what is going to need to happen if the government is good. If we're going to have the government expedite this process.
I don't see it being expedited. I see it being slowed down even more.
If you had if you had 30 grushes, so it's just one grush right now, right? It's just one.
Yes.
But if next time it was 6 grushes and they actually all worked together on these programs and they all stepped out as a group, okay, then that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when it's that next moment being not just another grush, but a, you know, just a bigger situation where the government can't just knock that down. Then in next time, instead of a group of people, it's you know, a whole department of people who have said, you know what, this is we're done with this. Just like you have with corporations out there, you have Taco Bell, where everyone in the building quits and just leaves the business to be what it was because they didn't agree. They stopped playing for team and did what was right for the people, and they just walked out on their jobs and left the business to fend for itself. So situations like that, we know we've done it as humans, we know we've done it as Americans, and it's just that's the point that we would have to get to within our own government, where people are like, you know what, forget this politics stuff is crazy anyways. I'd rather side with humanity, and I'm going to step out there and take my chances. That's what we need. And once they wake up, you know, because they're I feel like they're brainwashed and they're programmed to do a lot of the stuff that they do in the government. So whenever you can break through that and then they reconnect and have that moment, that human moment, then that's when they get to make a decision to say, you know what, I'm done with this. Let's go expose this tomorrow. And that's kind of what we need.
Rob, I want to say a big thank you for filling in for Courtney Marcassani here on the UFO Report.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a real benefit to us getting your opinion in on these things because, you know, the more opinions that we could get out, the better. And Courtney's hoping to be back in a couple of days' time as she's traveling back, eventually home to Alaska for the holidays. So we thank her for that. And thanks, Science Bob, for being a wonderful guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio, as per usual. We'll talk to him in 2023. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at work, at home, in your cars, wherever you may be. Thank you to everyone in our chat rooms tonight. YouTube, Twitch, LGAB, Facebook, Spreaker, LinkedIn, Space Travelers Club, and on Twitter at hashtag Spaced Out Radio. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio at SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for choosing to share your evening with us, because together, my friends, we're watching. We own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Yes, the Woo train has docked for the night. But soon, my friends, we shall ride again. Seats are always available. Your tickets never expire. And if you want to bring a friend, yeah, we got room for them too. Good night. Good job, Sweets.
Yeah, that's all good, man. Thought I'd break it out, man.
You broke it out big time.
Yeah. So, yeah, glad to be here once again. Courtney, that's a long drive. So, you know, we talking about Philadelphia to Alaska is a quarter of the Earth's surface at least driving.
Yeah. And you got to drive up to British Columbia.
Yeah, if they'll have me, man. I've always tried to get up there. I was close, like I said. I used to go to Seattle all the time. It's like, I think 20, 30 miles from the border. And I used to be like, I'm going over there. And I never made it.
Got to do it.
One love, everybody. Thanks. I'm learning guitar right now. I'm teaching myself. So one day you may have an after. Maybe one day. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. Where is your shredder?
Oh, I had it up, man. You missed it. Oh, you were doing the outro.
Yeah.
You're doing the outro, man. Look
at you. Is that Squire?
It's a Stratcaster. It's not a expensive one. It's a starter.
Oh, good for you.
It's a starter guitar. Yeah. Because I'm not ready for the real one yet. So I'm learning on this one, and then I'll be making my real purchase. So
nice. What's your dream guitar?
I don't know, man. I want the one that Prince had in Purple Rain.
Oh, the
one Apollonia bought him.
Oh yes, the wood colored Fender.
Yeah, it was. I think it was white, actually.
Was it white?
Yeah, there's one in the window, and they went by and they saw it in the window. Then she went and bought it for him. Oh, you got to go back and watch Purple Rain.
Oh man, I haven't seen that movie in decades.
Man, Purple. You talking about Prince? That guy right there. Okay, on the guitar.
Amazing.
Very amazing.
Very underrated guitar player. Like he never comes up in the conversation. Yet, dude was amazing. Like I think Eric Clapton said he was one of the best he's ever seen.
Yeah. And you know who else is awesome? Bumblefoot.
Yeah.
Bumblefoot is amazing, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I told you I went over there on one of his live streams one day a few months ago, and it was only 20 people in the live. And he was just playing all sorts of he was playing theme show songs just off the head. Just he had a couple guys on there, and the guy would tell him, call out a TV theme to a song, and then he would just have to remember all the notes in it and play it right then and there. And he was like probably 95% on point, just right from the head, just all the little drops and everything. I'm like, this dude, Bumblefoot, is amazing on the guitar. Just amazing. So y'all check out Bumblefoot, man. Go subscribe to Bumblefoot if you have not. That guy is crazy. Amazing. Straight up.
You know who else is straight up? Sweet Robbie G. You should bring up your swag here.
Always. Let me see.
Bring it up on the screen.
Let me bring it up here, man. Get my stuff here. Okay. Alrighty then. All right. So we obviously we got the Sasquatch Rob G shirt, which I don't like it in white. If I'm wearing this, I'm wearing it in probably this color. This is the better for me. Let me bring this up. That's a better. Oop, let me zoom in. Okay. So that color, or close this here. I like the dark gray. I like the green one is actually cool too.
Yeah, that one
That's a
looks
cool color. And then the other one I'd recommend, I think the black is too dark. Let's see. I think it's this one here. What is that? Blue? Yeah, that's cool. I like the blue one. The blue one is cool, but it's not the one I'm looking for. It is, I think, this one.
lots of colors.
Yeah. This one right here, whoo, that one is killing them. And let me see here. What else we got here? Got your Dave Scott draws and panties. And this is the ladies, because some ladies don't like wearing the unisex shirts. Some ladies like the, more of the form fitting. So we do have the form fitting Rob G shirts. And also it looks good in pretty much every color. Orange, I like the orange actually. Orange looks sick. Spaced Out Radio purple. And you got the black and the white. The white one's okay. It's my least favorite though. And the Rob G draws, if that's your thing. And this is the hoodie. I would rock this hoodie. This is a zip up. With the Rob G on the back. And then you can put it together. They had the whole little outfit. You can wear that whole little outfit right there. The Spaced Out Radio shoes, some black jeans, and then this zip up. And it looks better with this color as well. Let's see. There you go. That's sick right there. And back out of here. The socks are killing them. But let me get to. Oh, here it is. Yeah, every color looks cool to me. This one, so the navy.
Hey, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Go down to your bottom and go down to the bottom. And how many pages do you have there?
On the store, it's 5.
Okay. Cool.
5.
Look at those sweet Robbie G socks right there.
Yeah, the socks is killing them. We got to get different colors in there too, because they got the to match the t-shirts. And let me see. Yeah, I like this red one. This red one is looking good. I'm like, ooh. Let me bring that one up. Look at that. Ooh. Look at that, y'all. That is a must-have right there. This one is a must-have. In red for sure. And then also the navy. Let me see. Actually, I think this one actually looks good in every color selection, truthfully. I haven't found one that didn't look good. This one is sick. The navy, the green, the army green.
I like that army green color.
Yeah, I like army green in general. Yeah, that one's sick. That one's sick. Let me see. So that's the blues, the white. The black one is obviously a good one. The colors, is that black? No, it's the gray. It's the black.
That one looks good.
Yeah. They actually, like I said, it isn't every color selection actually looks like a good one for me. I would wear pretty much every one of them. And I think you guys should too. Get one or put on your Christmas list, right? It's still early enough for that. I know we're doing Secret Santa right now and we're putting our wish list together. So throw one of those Spaced Out Radio t-shirts on your list.
Oh, where'd Rob go? He accidentally eliminated himself. That's kind of funny. There he is. He'll hop back in here. Hop back in, Sweets.
Damn, I don't know what happened. I hit the wrong button.
You hit the wrong button.
That happens. Let me see.
I'll be right back. I'm going to go check out the snowfall.
Okay. Yeah, guys. So, actually, while we're here, why don't we watch the commercial, huh?
Guess what? We do not have ugly swag. We have Spaced Out Radio gear that you're going to want to wear. Why? Because no one wants to wear ugly clothing. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com and go shopping today. You'll be glad you did. And it's a great way to support our show. Once you get your gear, send us a picture of you rocking out in your SOR swag. spacedoutradio.com. Shop there today and make yourself look good. Love your woo. It's time to make a commitment to the 3rd annual SOR Fan Party. This time, we're heading to Reno, Nevada and the Silver Legacy Casino and Resort, May 10th through 12th, 2024. Tickets are $60 or $100 for VIP. With that, you get a free radio show. You get to hang out with celebrity guests from Spaced Out Radio, including our team, who are coming to hang out with you. You get to meet the entire team, like Science Bob, Merle, Melinda Leslie, Geraldina Roscoe, and more. It's a weekend packed with adventure, and we want you there. After all, we're doing this for you. Find out more and get your tickets at info@spacedoutradio.com and book your hotels today at the Silver Legacy Casino and Resort in Reno, Nevada. Come join us for the SOR Fan Party, May 10th through 12th, 2024.
You gotta be there. You gotta be there. Be there. You gotta be there. Like I said, there's so many ways to make that happen. So just give you some ideas. You got birthdays coming up. You got Christmas right now. You have Mother's Day. Father's Day will be after, but you have Mother's Day coming up. It's happening during Mother's Day weekend. So perfect thing. Say, hey, you know what? You can start on that now. Say, hey, go and talk to your family in your family meeting or over at dinner and say, hey, you know what mom would like for Mother's Day this year? There's something going on with my favorite channel, Spaced Out Radio, and I would just love to be there. And, I'm just going to throw it out there. And then kind of see what manifests over the next 5 months, because that would be enough time for family members to say, hey, she really wants to do that. And let's go ahead and make it happen for her, because children and husbands and wives will do anything for moms. You know what I mean? So this is the time to use that fact to get your ticket and get your ticket booked. And I think it would work for a lot of you moms out there. I think it will work. I think this will work, but you have to start working on it early so that they know. Don't just spring it up on them in March or April and say, hey, you want to go to the Spaced Out Radio fan party? You got to do it now while you're 5 months out. So they have to, move a couple things around. Then they're able to do that and make your wish come true this year as a mother. Because just like Dave said, mothering is a 365-day a year job, and you definitely deserve to be able to go on a cruise or go on whatever it is you want to go on for Mother's Day. It's the Mother's Day, so it's what mom wants to do, right? So you make that decision on how you want to spend your Mother's Day, and it should be away from the kids, because you see them 364 days throughout the year, and it should be stepping away from the kids for a minute and saying, "Mom will be back on Monday." I think that would be okay.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, Robbie?
Yo.
I'm going to say goodnight to you and the audience because I got some editing to do here.
All right. Definitely. I'll get back to doing some work I'm doing over here. So I will check you out, sir. And for the rest of you guys, have a great rest of your night. Have a great rest of your week. And come and join us on Saturday. Let's see, 173. I want to see 173 there on Saturday. We got Jim Goodall, the legend, stepping into After Hours. I want to see you all there. It's going to be a great time. And then maybe we will do a call-in or something afterwards. So come and find out. And we'll see you there. All right, Dave.
All right, buddy.
Take care.
Thank you. And thank you tonight to Louis ×2, Mama Catherine, Science Bob, Mike Major Lee, Shaq Filet, Thomas, Gizmo, and Road Flair for the Super Chats. Greatly appreciate you tuning us in tonight. We'll see you all tomorrow, where our guest will be Carter Bouchard. We have a changing guest, Jeff Belanger. We rescheduled him for Monday. Carter Bouchard tomorrow. I'll make the change on the website and everything for tomorrow. It's about his alien experience. First time he's talking publicly about him having aliens, people. Yeah, him having aliens. So make sure you check that on out. We will see you all tomorrow, everyone. Love you, and see you soon.
Stay healthy, my friend.
You too.
If you need bail money, give me a call.
Always, Dad. Take care.
You too.